Hey, I'm Nashi.
I'm Rezlar.
And I'm Frosty. Welcome back to the Value Pack.
Hold on, I have to gear check Nash right now. Alright, that is some bull jabber. Dude, he CC'd me how to dance. What's happening? Rezlar!
People look at you like you're crazy, and they refuse to admit that it's pay to win, and just scream that it's pay to convenience! It's pay to convenience!
Big money, big money, big money,
Big money! Oh shit, we got it! We fucking got it! And welcome everybody to another episode of the Value Pack. Okay, so let's get this out of the way first. I feel like we should get this out of the way first. Technically speaking, this should be our 3-year anniversary special. The podcast was started, I think it was December 22nd, which means this is the episode closest to that date. So theoretically, this should be the 3-year anniversary special. But we're postponing it. We're postponing it because we want to talk about the reworks, and the reworks aren't coming out until the 22nd, actually. Look at that.
Yeah. Actually, 21st is our anniversary. We started on winter. The day,
was it 21st?
The first day of winter, yeah.
Are you memeing, or are you
No,
being serious?
no. We looked back, and it was the 21st of December is our anniversary.
Oh, okay. So 21st. I was one day off. 21st. So we're postponing the special because we want to talk about reworks after they've been released for our special. So yeah, that'll be happening sometime in the near future.
Yeah, the holiday timing is rough. It might be the first week of January.
Why did we start a podcast in late December? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if anybody's like thinking that this was going to be the special, sorry, being postponed, but we'll try to make it fun and interesting for everybody. Hopefully we can live up to last year's. I don't know if we can because last year's was amazing, but we'll try our best. We're
only postponing the special because we want the special to be special.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Now that that's out of the way, we haven't talked about the Calpheon ball yet, so we still have to do that. We skipped last week, if I remember correctly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So instead of talking about it last week, we skipped. Now we have to talk about it this week. So bit late on this. I think everybody kind of already knows about the Calpheon ball, but you know what? We're going to talk about it anyway because it's our show, and fuck you guys. Before we get to all that stuff, though, I'd like to thank our lovely patrons: Hawaiian Eye Has Issues, Jeremy Johnson, Calahad, Melt On Your Mouth, Minaria, Slytech, Talus Acceptum, thanks, and Wavesy. Appreciate you guys for supporting the show, as well as all our other patrons and all of our Twitch subscribers on our individual Twitch channels, which Nayashi is streaming. It's crazy. He's actually streaming Black Desert Online during the podcast this episode. What's up with that, Nayashi?
Not much. Just checking out the reworks. Just getting a feel for it.
So you're just rework waiting room as well?
Basically.
Yeah.
He's
That's
mostly
crazy. It's good to have it back.
He's a full-time Global Lab gamer now.
Yeah. I'm just trying to gear up, like everybody else.
Dude, the other day, you know what's so funny is the other day he was like testing out some PvE stuff. This dude literally grinded Bloody Monastery for like 90 minutes on Global Labs.
I was testing the PvE combos, trying to figure out which ones would be good.
I was like, Nashi, you really could use some gear on live. Maybe you should do that on live.
I don't want to play on live until these are out because live just feels blah.
It feels old, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does. It feels like every second you're playing live right now, you're just kind of like, I mean, I don't want to say you're wasting your time, but it kind of does feel that way. Like you're not, logically speaking, you're not. You're absolutely not wasting your time by playing live, like currently, but it kind of feels like it until the reworks come out. You're just like, ugh.
Yeah, he's like Rocky. He's training ahead of time. He's spending months especially with the higher ping. So he's gonna because he's been playing nothing but Global Labs for the last week or two. He's gonna, when it comes to live, he's like, I think they fixed all the ping issues because he's so used to Global Labs. It's gonna feel amazing, dude. He's in the what is it? The hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway,
no, it's just interesting stuff and just trying to get a feel for it. That's all.
Yeah, we'll probably. Yeah, actually, here, let me do this. Let me add this to the list. This will be another if we have time. All right. So, we kind of need to talk about the Calpheon ball. And Resler is going to be mostly in and out because he is fighting Alon, and you know how that is. Everyone knows how that is.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I might not do this for long, but at this point, I've gotten into my my mentality of you leave, you lose. So basically, I'm just gonna keep fighting this guy and not letting him grind on his wizard until he leaves or I get bored.
Yeah, we should change that to if you stay during the podcast, you lose. All right.
Nah.
So let's talk Calpheon ball. I'm gonna try to have like a visual background here. I'm not a producer, so this is gonna be scuffed as hell for those who are watching.
Hey,
but,
this is the furthest thing from a professional production in podcast history. So I think everybody appreciates the effort you put in.
Yeah, this is gonna be mostly cringe. So, let's talk about the Calpheon ball. The big thing that they announced, number one, right off the bat. Well, I don't even know if we can call it an announcement. But they talked about the Mountain of Eternal Winter, which is the new region. And I guess we'll just kind of go down the list of some of the stuff that they announced for the new region. With the first thing being you can, if you make a new character, you can now start. They said in the Mountain of Eternal Winter, but you start in Dregan and then kind of path to the Mountain of Eternal Winter from there.
I think that was probably a bit of a mistranslation. Probably what they meant to say is the main quest line will take you through the Mountain of Eternal Winter, not that you start there.
Yeah, and you're basically talking to NPCs. You also, I don't know if I forget what happened with the level 56 thing. Do you just start at 56 or?
Yeah, I still don't know how that happened exactly.
Yeah,
he didn't start at 56. I know that. He just he was walking around Dragon, of course, that's where you start. And then they cut out and they were talking about stuff, and when they went back into the game to show more of the questline, he was just suddenly level 56. So I don't know if he just had another character that was 56 that they swapped to for that part of the quest line, because that part of the quest line wasn't that part of the quest line was to show off the whole big ogre guys that you had to sneak around, right?
Yeah, which are
so maybe that's just some point later in the story that you would have to be 56 or around 56-4, so they had to make a 56 character for it. I don't know. I feel like we probably shouldn't assume that you instantly become level 56.
Yeah, it was just confusing because all of a sudden he was level 56.
It was.
It's like, oh, okay, well this is at this...
And they didn't they didn't address it at all.
Anyway, so you could start there. There is this area with these giant ogres that is one of the coolest looking areas, in my opinion. I love it because it's kind of swampy with some mountains in the background, and these things remind me of Terra Bams.
Bams, yeah.
And I love the idea. I've been saying for a while, I would love a I don't even know if this is going to actually end up being a grind spot. It really probably isn't. But hopefully...
No,
I mean, the way they're spread out, though, almost makes me think it will be. But I don't know. Maybe it won't be. But either way, I would love it if it was, where you're actually just fighting one mob at a time, one giant mob, and getting rewards. I kind of like the idea of that, but who knows? Anyway, this place, visually at least, looks cool. When they announced the Eternal Winter stuff, here's kind of the main stuff that they announced. So they announced 4 different grind spots. One of them was called Mirmok Labyrinth, which I believe is the Pillbug area, where more adventures cause the monster to spawn, and it's a solo spot. But then if there's enough people grinding there, the more people grinding there, the better the odds of the boss spawning. And when the boss spawns, everyone kind of stops what they're doing and fights it. Yeah, that was kind of the first thing. Do you guys have any feelings on that? Almost like Bloody Monastery, or not Bloody, Abandoned Monastery, but
except you can actually do it together.
You don't have to go
and
do it together.
People.
Yeah, it doesn't cause you to hate everyone around you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know how well it's gonna work in practice, but it's interesting. Because my concern with that kind of mechanic would be, so if I'm the only person grinding that spot because it's not a very good spot, do I just never get the boss, which then in turn makes the spot even worse than it already is? Because it feels like
Yeah.
this is going to be a trap where it's either going to be a dog shit spot that no one goes to, which is, let's be honest, the most likely outcome, or to try and incentivize people to go grind there, they're going to make it super strong, which means everyone's going to grind there, which means the boss is going to constantly spawn, which means it's going to be even more OP than it is just at a baseline level. So that would be my concern, but I mean, maybe they can properly balance it out, but that's my concern. I think it's an interesting mechanic, but that's my concern.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the balance is gonna be like because I don't know what I have no idea what the drops and stuff are gonna be. But I assume if there's an item that you need to get from there, that maybe the boss will increase the odds of getting that. So you kind of want more people to be there, but who knows? Although that could backfire if the spot ends up being bad, and then like down the road, new players are going there to get an item that everyone already has, and there's no one there. So who knows? Hopefully they balance that properly. The other grind spot was called Earthia's Void. I'm going to read this as I wrote the notes. So it's a place with monsters made with scales of dragons slayed. More of a prison break / escape zone. They likened it to like an escape room. You finish objectives to get out. Different rooms and puzzles. 3 gates activated, different challenges in each, kind of like an escape room. Low chance to unlock a golden room with prizes inside, and you fight monsters along the way, and they'll all the monsters you engage will have different mechanics. Ashley, did you hear any of that?
Yes, I did.
All right, your thoughts on the idea of that?
I mean, seems pretty solid. No, I didn't hear any of it. Trying to play it off.
Oh no, he tried to play it off. I was like, oh shit, he's actually listening. Oh god damn.
Sorry, I was getting trolled to death by this infinite iframe ranger. So.
It's a busted ass ranger.
TLDR and Ashy, escape room like grind spot.
Yeah, with puzzles and stuff. Can Maewa solve puzzles?
Yeah, I mean, kind of. We can solve puzzles. I mean, last time we did that, the first dungeon, I solved the puzzles pretty good initially, and then after I didn't get the quest properly, I had to redo it, and that took a little bit, unfortunately. So.
Yeah, it was hard for you to move those boxes around.
Yeah, it was difficult.
Yeah, I don't know. This one seems kind of cool to me too. I'm more of I like to fight mobs. I don't really like to do puzzles, but if the puzzles are interesting, my concern with puzzles in any game is always like, how am I supposed to do it again and again if I already know the solution to the puzzle? Correct. Unless it's something randomized, it just seems like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, eventually it starts getting boring. So it's hard to develop a dynamic system where it like constantly changes up what the puzzles end up being. It would be pretty cool if they could manage something like that, though.
This low chance to unlock a golden room with prizes. So when they say that, I think of like the goblins in Diablo 3, where you go to the goblin like cave or whatever, the treasure cave. I love the idea of that. I just don't know what would be in the treasure room that's like BDO related. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's like, what are there, gold bars on the ground or something? Like, what would even be in this treasure room?
Pen Blackstar weapon.
Pen Blackstar weapon. Wow. So just grinding is like, hey, I got a Pen Blackstar drop today.
Pretty much, yeah. That's about how we.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, it probably will just be gold bars. Like, let's be honest here. But I don't know.
Maybe just crons. They'll put crons on there.
I would like for them to do more items because we already have. I think there's a lot of inflation going on right now, right? Because of Elvia spots. So maybe we hold off on introducing more money into the economy and try to introduce more items into it.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
They need to add the luxury auction house thing, man. They need to actually start putting stuff in there and make people waste billions of silver on stuff like a black Pegasus. They could easily do like a black unicorn or like I don't know. maybe like a doom horse, like a white doom horse or something with blue fire. Like they could do so many things that would make people waste billions of silver. The inflation is crazy. Yeah, I don't know what the treasure room could be. Hopefully it's not raw silver, but you know, there's that.
Yeah.
They did say that they're gonna add a tower spot similar to Miramok or Star's End in the winter region, where monsters spawn towards you like Star's End, Miramok, and random chances for unique and elite monsters to spawn. So that's cool for the people that don't like having to use mobility combos to get around. Just kind of sit in place and chill. They didn't. I don't know if they gave a name to that spot, but that's all they said. And then this other spot they called Okjensini, which resides in the Jade Starlight Forest. Chain explosions deal damage to mobs similar to Star's End towers that CC. So this was the. Let me see if I could find the clip of them doing it.
This was the one where you kill one and they explode and deal damage to the other ones around them, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I skipped it already in here. I might not have.
And these were pretty big. These were like Tauros-like mobs, if I'm remembering correctly. They were kind of like small packs of like maybe like 3, but they were quite large and fairly difficult to kill.
Yeah, and they have this like these blue auras around. They're a little bit like, they actually remind me a lot of Mancha mobs, but they're bigger.
Yes, yeah.
I'm trying to
They're
clip it now.
Tauros-sized Mancha mobs.
But essentially they were saying because people have issues with like AoEs and stuff, so when the mobs blow up, they deal damage to each other as well. So that way like the mobs die at a little bit more similar time, like packs of mobs die at a more similar time. Which I think is kind of an interesting concept. And then while they were showing this zone off with the most screen shake you could ever possibly have.
Yeah.
It is the absolute most screen shake I've ever seen. This is like worse than Amortat's screen shake, and his is terribly bad. They talked about how when you're grinding in these spots that they have a brand new elite monster called the Guardian of the Void that appears around thick blizzardy areas. Similar to like loot goblins, and the monster is supposed to be difficult to fight. Now in their demo, the monster wasn't actually difficult to fight, but they said that they said that they lowered the they lowered it for the sake of the demo, so they don't actually, so you don't have to watch their.
So they don't end up like a gaming journalist struggling to get through the tutorial.
Yeah, you don't want to see their developer get farmed. So when they show a clip of this, they show them like kind of at these foothills or in this valley, and you see like a whirlwind like tornado / blizzard thing in front of the character, and he like goes and walks into it, and I guess you start hearing like a voice talk, like once you're inside of it, start hearing a voice talk, and this guardian spawns, and it's like a huge ass guardian, and it has a teleport skill, and he fights it, and it dies pretty quick here, but they said it's going to be a lot harder when it comes out. It actually reminds me of like the Mountain of Area in Diablo. I don't know, like I always feel BDO I feel like takes a lot of things from Diablo. Yeah, a little bit. You remember when you had to fight the ancients at the top of the mountain? It reminds me of that.
I guess I could see that.
I'm pretty sure this Guardian also is wearing Ariad's helm. It looks like it. Anyway, so the idea of that's pretty cool. So a random mob that spawns that's difficult to fight that I assume is going to drop some cool loot, but who knows. When he grabbed the... Now, it doesn't show us anything, but when he grabbed the loot, he cheered, so... You know?
Yeah, probably 1 bill gold bar.
Probably a gold coal account.
Man.
Diablo came out in 1996.
What do you guys think about adding more mobs that are just champions? I think I was kind of fine with it.
Like
when it was
like D2 champ packs, like randomly.
No, like they keep adding more and more mobs that are just like reskinned like characters, right? Yeah. So like Shere Khan with the Zerkers and the Warriors, and then you have like the DK and like I don't know. It's interesting. It's an interesting. I almost want to call it lazy, to be perfectly honest, but I don't know. I guess it's fine if it's just bosses.
To me, it would be more lazy if it was like just mobs that you're already fighting and they're just like bigger or a different color or something. Like, there's not really. Is there any other guardian you fight in the game? And they even gave it new skill effects and everything. So I don't know.
But that's why, like, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I guess I'm okay with it if it's like bosses, right? Like the Sorkin cadres or the gatekeepers, right? Like some of the gatekeepers are just like big fucking character mobs.
The Sork is at Gahas, for the record.
Gahas, sorry, Gahas.
Kadri is like the warrior. Is it a Zerker? I don't know. I forget. I guess a warrior. It's a sword and a shield, right?
Yeah, it's a warrior. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's the elite mob spawn. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess there's I don't know. I get like most of the grind spots seem to have pretty unique mobs, so it's really only like these specialty mobs that are kind of like character skins. So it's not. I'm not too upset about it. All right. So after they went through some of the grind spots, now I don't know if there's gonna be more. A year ago when they announced it, they only talked about 2 grind spots, and in this video they talked about 4 different grind spots, and then we don't know for sure if where all those giants are is also a grind spot. So maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But what they did talk about, which I'm actually hyped about.
He brought a friend.
Oh no. All right. So what they did talk about is 2 new item slots. A new item slot on the left of your wheel, a new item slot on the right of your wheel, and in these item slots you put artifacts. And the artifacts themselves seem to have a base effect. So for example, in this demo one that they show, and actually I forget there's something I want to see here. Hold on, I gotta pull out the old translator. But in the artifact that they show here in the demo, the actual artifact effect itself is 10% BSR. Black Spirit maximum rage plus 10%.
So wait, can we hit 200 now? Or is that's only one artifact, right?
I assume that's only one of the artifacts, but I assume if you have 2 of the same one, I don't know if there's any rules against using like more.
That's true. We just don't know anything detail-wise.
Yeah, and these artifact now I don't know for sure, but in the screenshot it says that it's not marketable. So it sounds like you're gonna have to grind these out yourself. And then the bottom,
like a quest reward or something.
Yeah, and then inside these artifacts you put light stones, what they're calling light stones, which kind of look like a little bit more specialized crystals. You can have 2 of them in an artifact. And they each have their own individual effect. So their sample ones here is HP plus 150 for this orange one at the top, and then the blue one at the bottom is ignore all resist plus 8%. And then the effect underneath that says Lightstone combination set effect. And this one is kind of weird because it says like PvP to same class, PvP damage to same class plus 5% or something. So it looks like if you do different combinations of these light stones inside, you're going to get a different set effect because it says Lightstone set effect and it's like in this green text. So I'm assuming even if you have the same artifact, if you have different light stones in there, you'll get a different effect. I just don't know. I mean, they didn't show us what any of them are, so I have no idea. They only showed us this one. And I don't know how many light stones there are, but yeah. Probably a decent amount. I hope there's a lot. I mean,
yeah,
if they
it'd be nice to have a lot of different kind of diversity builds you can build off them.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just like selfishly super excited for Ignore or Resist because I hate Resist so freaking much. So we'll see. The cool thing is that, all right, so they said when they were talking about where you get these things, I believe you're going to get the artifacts from the Mountain of Eternal Winter. But the light stones they said are mostly going to be in the Mountain of Eternal Winter, but some of them are going to be in other areas as well. Which means there's probably a lot. So I don't know. Heaton said deep down, resist will have twice the value of ignore. That's fine, to be honest, because with the ignore resist, we can still get enough to just ignore it all with the new resist system. So I'm fine with it. If people want to put in all resist plus 16% on one of their crystals, so be it. So be it. Let me get my Elcars, my offhand crystals in these, and get ignore all resist plus 75%, and I'll be happy. I'll learn to live with it. And Najil's saying that there's going to be at least 11 light stones, might be up to 19 if they don't put multiple on one. So we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening with the light stones. I also don't know for sure how many different artifacts there are, and there's a blue artifact that looks a little bit different over here on the left side of the screenshot, but they don't hover over that and don't show that one's effect, so that one might be different than the BSR. But yeah, I'm really excited for this because I feel like this potentially means a little bit more diversity with like builds, especially with the set effects. But one of the interesting things that they mentioned during this is that one of the soul stones, or maybe it was the set effects of the soul stones, could augment specific skills damage, which I think is really cool too.
Which boss's soulstone is it?
Or Lightstone. Did I say Soulstone? No,
Yeah,
Lightstone. Lightstone, sorry. I don't know why I keep
Is that
saying
Diablo or
reference?
Mephisto's?
Yeah.
So,
Which soulstone, bro?
yeah. Rez, starting with you, your thoughts on the artifacts and the Lightstones in general, and just these item slots.
I'm excited for them to add like more gear, I think. I think though I am a little disappointed that they're just kind of like fancy crystals. Now the part where they're like kind of adding like the new mechanic makes it like slightly more interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty I think like with most things, I just want to like see it and then get a feel for it before I like make any scathing critiques.
Yeah.
Or endorsements, I suppose. So I would say that like I'm glad that they're adding new gear because that's like interesting and fun. But I think that the part where it's a lot of like passive stats and stuff is kind of lame. So
What would you prefer it be?
I'm not sure honestly. I don't know. I would have to like really kind of think on that. I really thought they were adding pants for like a minute. I think if you go back in the VOD, whenever they said like, "Oh, we wanted to add new gear," I literally was like going like, "Dude, they're adding Frosty. They're adding pants.
I know,
Frosty.
dude,
They're
I
adding
said it
pants."
too. I was like, "Oh my god, they're gonna add pants." I think this looks cooler than pants. Pants. Here's the problem with pants. Even though I think it would be kind of interesting to add pants with some like low DP or legs or whatever, but the problem with pants is I feel like pants look like they're trying to sell artisans if they just give you a new gear slot that's not any different.
Yeah, it would look very predatory.
A little bit, right? And maybe these are too, because here's the thing: is like these crystals you can enhance, or sorry, light stones. You can enhance these light stones as well. Yeah. So maybe I don't know how it works, if they work like accessories, if you can crawl on them, if it's like I don't know, but yeah, they said that you can enhance them to improve the effect that they have. I can't remember if they said if they get destroyed or not if they fail. But yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting because especially if it's an item that you have to like grind for or do a quest for to get, like no way to sell it on the marketplace. So it means if it's something that can blow up, that could be very cancer.
Well, we don't actually know for sure if the light stones themselves could be sold because they don't ever hover over a light stone. It just shows them in the item. The artifact itself that the light stones go into say that they can't be sold. So, yeah, I don't know. I super love this idea though. Like I like the idea. Like I can't wait to see what all the set effects are, and then like the idea of some people maybe going accuracy and some people getting evasion or some people getting HP and me selfishly getting ignore all resist because that is what tilts me most in this game. So it's like I'm kind of excited for it. I can't wait. And I hope the other artifacts effect is more interesting than plus 10% BSR, because for me, I don't really care so much about BSR. I would love, I don't know, something else. I'm really curious what the other ones are, or if they're all the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, having the specialized skill damage would be pretty cool, depending on how it works.
Yeah.
I don't know if I actually like adding more damage, TBH.
Well, it depends, because here's the thing, like,
Did they say specifically damage though?
yeah, they said damage, but I don't, what I wouldn't like is if it's like everyone's best skill gets more damage. But if it's damage on a skill that isn't necessarily great, I kind of like that idea to give you potentially more variety. Like, let's say for sake of example, on I don't know, I'm trying to think of it. What's a good example? Let's say on Zerker, it's like devastation damage plus 7%. Like, devastation's not a nuke, so that's actually like an interesting item that you'd get that isn't like buffing up your strongest skill in the game or something. You know what I mean? Like something along those lines. I kind of like the idea of it, but if it's just gonna buff like everyone's like if it's Kuno's spin spree buff, then it's like or if it's like Ninja Serpent. But if it's something that people don't really use that much, is a little bit more interesting. But I don't know. I mean, I totally understand you not wanting more damage though, because obviously, like, people do a lot of damage right now.
Well, with reworks,
I feel like we already have too much is my concern. And like, yeah, I agree that like putting it on a less useful skill would be a lot better than like putting it on seismic or something, obviously. But I don't know.
Well, now seismic might need it. We'll get into that
I'm just
later.
wondering, like, do we really need more damage in our game, right? I don't know.
Well, I mean, it depends how much it is. If it's balanced properly, like, they're also adding more tankiness, right? Because you could potentially get evasion or HP or whatever to negate the damage if you don't want to take more damage. I guess. I don't know. I guess it just depends on how it is. But I don't know. The skill thing is interesting. Here's my biggest fear with the skill thing is that it's some classes are going to have a skill that it sounds awesome on, and some it's going to be horrible. So, like, not everyone really gets to choose that as an option because it's a skill you don't want to use. Or it doesn't really matter, you know? Like, Maewa's going to be like, all right, like, Maewa's going to look at Kuno, and Kuno got it on Succession Kuno. It's like Flash Slash got buffed. On Awaken, Spin Spree, and then Maewa's like, all right, what did we get? Oh, we got Tenacious Edge and Retaliation. You know what I mean? Where it's like, damn. Guess we're not using that. Yeah, I would be more into if it wasn't damage and it was like, it has a skill effect that changes an ability in some meaningful way. That actually would be way more interesting, but they'll probably not ever do that. Let's see. Next up. So that's the new items. You can enhance them. Hopefully the enhancing part of it is not too miserable. You know, one of the interesting things, so whenever I was talking to like
maybe like here would be an interesting idea. The light artifact lets you access a second core.
No.
Yeah, that'd be probably pretty busted.
No, please no. God damn it, no, Nyash. Don't even say that.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know what they could have done with the artifacts to make them better. And
Well,
again, I
know.
don't hate the idea.
Well, we
of
don't
the
even know what they
artifacts,
are yet.
Yeah,
so
we don't even
can't.
know.
Yeah.
But
and that's why I'm saying, like, I don't want to I don't want to be like overly negative, because at the end of the day, we don't really know what it's going to be like until it hits live. But I don't know. I'm just concerned, is all.
Yeah.
Yep.
Understandably so.
All right, so Libresca. They announced the Fallen God helmet. Let me see where it is when they pop it up here. Libresca is their new Fallen God helmet. Now, Libresca is very interesting for a couple of reasons. So, one, it is a combination of Gaiath and Griffin, similar to the Black Star helmet. At base, it's essentially a C. I guess C10, right? It's just kind of like the same DP. A C10 Griffin Helm, and then at duo it's like a C20 Griffin Helm. The cool thing about it is that it does get the all resist 5%. It gains the 100 HP from Gaiath, and it also gains a Black Star set effect that gives it 100 HP and 10 monster DR. So if you have a Griffin helmet, if you're chilling with a Griffin helmet currently, like let's say for me, for example, if I have a C20 Griffin helmet, right? If I'm chilling with my Griffin helmet and I put on a duo Fallen God helmet, or they're calling it Libresca's helmet, I like instantly just gain 200 HP, which is kind of sick. And 20 monster DR, because this 2-piece set effect is 10 monster DR, and the item set effect is 10 monster DR, which seems like a lot to me. Like 20 more monster DR is kind of a lot, but which kind of makes me also hope that some of these grind spots have mobs that actually hit super hard and DP is going to matter. But we'll see. Your guys' thoughts on the Libresca helmet? Oh, by the way, the other fact about this Libresca helmet, they said it is not going to require a flame from Tauros. It's going to have there's going to be a new item or items that you need to get from Mountain of Eternal Winter that
I was
are
wondering what
also
they were gonna do about that.
tied to a quest line.
New flame.
Yeah, basically a new flame. Any thoughts on the helmet?
No, it's pretty straightforward, I think.
Yeah. I mean, we knew that this was coming for a while, right? So, I think more defense is probably a good thing. I'd rather them add more defense than more offense. Of course, I'm not looking forward to falling even further behind, the gear gap, but...
Well, I think I actually think the Fallen Gods are like an easy catch-up mechanic because it's so easy to get duo. You don't have to grind out C20. Like, duo Fallen God's like pretty easy. Typically speaking.
Yeah, not when you're me.
Why? How many fails do you have? Let's hear it.
It's not fails, it's money. And again, like especially for something that's like not sold, like a flame, right? Because I play this game exclusively for PvP essentially, right? So that's kind of the problem.
So
I don't grind. I just go to war and then I go to RBF and occasionally I go to like Arsha for open world PvP. There's no way for me to make money in this game, so there's no way for me to get upgrades even relatively quickly.
I thought you were grinding so you still haven't gotten your flame, you're saying?
No, I finally got it. It took a long time, but I got it. I'm not saying I never grind, it's just like, I don't know, very rarely. I just don't make a lot of money.
You got it. That's all that matters.
Like, my point is I don't make a lot of money and I don't grind very often, right? Which is my problem, but like I don't enjoy those things, so why would I do those things? I guess TLDR is let me make money PvPing, please.
Yeah, well, absolutely not.
Actually not allowed.
Not allowed. Now, Ashley, any feelings on that? You feel like it's just okay? Just it is what it is?
Basically, yeah.
I hope this time when we grind
there's
this
nothing
out,
impressive about it, so
I hope I get the item in immediately and you don't, unlike last time.
Yeah. That was very unfortunate for you. You were trying so hard for so long.
All right. So they added a Pen Black Star Kudum. It is based off of Kudum, and it's very interesting because it's like, I think, remember when they had that Pen Black Star offhand and everyone was like, it was like a Nuver Kudum combined or whatever, and it like looked insane. So they said during the ball that they were trying to decide between if they wanted the Black Star to be PvE or Nuver or Kudum, and that they kind of went with they want it to be more of a PvE thing to kind of follow the same theme as the rest of the Black Star stuff. So let me give you these comps. So basically a Tet Black Star Kudum is the same AP as a Pen normal Kudum, but with one less accuracy and 2 2 monster DR and 2 more monster AP. So for grinding specifically, a Tet Blackstar Kudum is actually really, really good. Like actually, I think a pretty great item. Probably just straight up better than, I think better than a Kudum, right? Like the stats are basically the same, except you just have a little bit more monster DR and a little bit of monster AP. It's at Pen where things are kind of weird because a Pen Blackstar is super hard to get, obviously, but so is a Pen C20 Kudum. But at Pen, you get 2 less accuracy in exchange for 5 monster DR and 5 monster AP. So the question is, going for a Pen Blackstar offhand, is that worth it for the 5 AP and the 5 DR?
No. I honestly don't think so. I mean, it's an in-game thing for those individuals that like they have nothing else to really work on. But
oh yeah, maybe it is. Oh yeah, you're right. This Kudum is well, it's C3, so I think it's just DR. Or I think the wait, what is this Pen Kudum? Hold on, I'm bringing this back up. Bringing up the old translator. You're right. I didn't even notice originally that this is. Yeah, so this is Kaffir. This is a Kaffir's level 3 Kudum, which is what gives you 1 more DP, I think. On the left, this left Kudum. I don't know what else it gives you at level 2. So I guess it has the same stats as a C3 Kudum. That actually makes it even more nutty. Like, that makes it even better. That's actually pretty awesome. Yeah, that's actually really good. Like, the Tet version of this item is actually really, really freaking good.
So what is the actual stats you get then? If that was the wrong...
Well, no, I was looking at the I didn't realize that the Pen Kudum next to the Tet was a C3. So you basically have... It's actually better accuracy than a base Pen Kudum because you get the 4, while 3 more accuracy than a base Kudum. A base Pen Kudum. So if you have a Tet Blackstar offhand, you have 3 more accuracy than a base Pen Kudum, and the same DR as a Pen Kudum that's level C3. And then you have Monster DR +2 and Monster AP +2 over a Pen Kudum. So it's just like actually way better than a Pen Kudum. A Tet Blackstar. But a Pen Blackstar, then they get a lot closer, and it's really only 5 Monster AP and 5 Monster DR. But you sacrifice 2 accuracy. So that's kind of crazy. Yeah, I don't know. At Tet, I kind of like it because it's still just better for PvE, slightly better for PvE, and on some classes that play Succession, it's gonna look really cool, like on a Guardian. Because remember, a lot of people do get this thing for the skin too. But I don't know. It's not like that crazy of an item, but it is better at Tet, and I don't think making Tet Blackstar is not that hard. That's the thing. I think making a Tet Blackstar is easier than getting a Pen Kudum at C3. For the most part.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'd probably agree with that. I just question if, like, are the stats really better when you account for Kaffir's as well?
At Pen? Or what do you mean? At Tet?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pen. At Pen, the stats are better. The only thing that's not is the accuracy. But you get 5 more Monster AP, 5 more Monster DR. The rest of it is identical, except -2 accuracy. So, yeah, you're basically, if you're using the Blackstar, you're exchanging 2 accuracy for 5 Monster DR and 5 Monster AP at Pen, compared to a C20 Kudum. So, yeah. I don't know. It's kind of cool. I kind of like that they made it something where you don't have to get, but I actually think a lot of people will still want it. There's still people that just want to have them.
Yeah, there's an aesthetic appeal to it.
Yeah, and also just like the idea of having like a full row of Pen Blackstar weapons, I think appeals to people as well.
Yeah.
Next up, Deboreka Belt. So they announced Deboreka Belt. It's going to drop at the Crypt in Odalita, and So the thing is with the belt, so it's essentially at TED it's equal to a Pen Tunggrad belt, and at Pen, well, I guess -2 accuracy, and then at Pen it's basically like what I guess would be the natural progression, like a Hex Tunggrad belt, but without BSR. So it's 21 AP at TET, 24 AP at Pen. Here's the thing about all these items, like the artifacts, the light stones, the Kudum offhand, the Labreska helmet, and this Deboreka belt. Some of these seem super like just luxury items, like you don't even need them. But one of the things is like lately I was talking to Blonde Bear and Jay Kuhn and Choice and Divios and like all these people and Biohack too that are like either hard cap or near hard cap that feel like they don't have anything to go for. And I feel like this winter region does a really good job of giving them a bunch of stuff to go for that doesn't necessarily increase the power like that much.
Yeah.
Which I think is cool because like poor Choice, I'm pretty sure Choice is like making a DR set and he made like a second Wailing God. Like he has nothing to go for. He's just like getting duplicates of shit. So it's like, I don't know. Same with like Biohack. It's like he's going for the Merchant Ring piece, and then outside of that, like I don't know what else do you even go for? He's got everything there is. And then they made Pen Fallen God like not really realistic. So yeah, it's kind of cool. Kind of cool for them. I know some of this stuff is like, yeah, why would I like me personally? I'm like, dude, I can't see a world where I'd really want a Deboreka belt. Like it doesn't help me get another bracket. The next bracket's not really worth going for how expensive this is probably going to be. So it's kind of like, I don't know.
It really comes down to how difficult it is to get.
That's so far beyond me. I don't even feel like my opinion's valid, so I'm just not gonna bother.
Yeah, it's way over. It's even over my head, some of this stuff. I do kind of want a Pen Black Star, but offhand. But it's like, there's no point. I want a Pen Black Star Awakening. I can't even get a stack to get one of those, so who knows? You know? It's never going to happen. All right. So, me and Reslar were watching this live, and this dude was on a warrior at the top of this mountain. And they started talking about horses and how all they have in the game are horses for mounts and all this stuff. And me and Reslar were like, you could hear it in both of our voices. We were like, holy shit. They're about to announce like a bear mount or like a werewolf mount or a wolf mount or like some sort of snow animal that you can ride like in the winter area. And it's probably going to look sick as fuck. We got super excited. And then this warrior pulled out two 2x4s that are glued together, pieces of plywood, and started snowboarding down the mountain. And I literally thought, this cannot be real, please, for the love of God. And it actually is. There's snowboarding.
There's gonna be snowboarding tournaments, dude.
It's so...
It has no purpose or place in this game.
Just getting down the mountain. It's just I don't understand.
Like when you have to invent a new, more modern travel system just to get down into the region. Like what?
It's so fucking out of nowhere. And the thing is that's so weird about it is like you always hear like, oh, they don't want to have like a proper gunner class because it kind of takes them out of the whatever. They don't want to have this or that.
But then they throw in snowboarding.
It's like, who the fuck was snowboarding in whenever these medieval times are? Right? It's like, what?
Yeah.
It's, maybe we're just unaware of the history of snowboarding.
Maybe. I guess it's...
Guarantee you that's a recycled animation from fucking Doki V.
Yeah, actually.
Getting recycled animations from games that aren't even out yet, dude. This damn company. Man. Yeah, it's the Shy animation. It's the Shy...
I mean, I'm sure it'll be fun, but it literally has no purpose in this game.
I'm trying to think of like why would you be up there on top of that mountain? That's the other thing. It's like what is even up there? What are they going for up there?
You're gonna take the airship up there, dude. and
I
drop
mean, it
off.
does look high. Like the one thing that I was a little bit blown away by is how kind of far down he goes. Like it's like I don't know where in Eternal Winter this is, but like it kind of looks huge. Like the area is going to be massive if he's able to snowboard down this mountain and not even get to the bottom before he crashes. Yeah, because he still looks pretty high up when... Let's see, he gets stuck right here, and there's still like kind of a ways to go, and it looks like there's a canyon down there. I don't know. It's just weird. Yeah, and a Pegasus could just glide down. Unless you're not allowed to use your Pegasus. I don't know what the rules are on that. If you can't use your Pegasus in the winter, maybe his wings get cold. I don't know. It feels like a Meiwa thing. Doesn't it a little bit?
I suppose.
It feels very Meiwa-y.
I don't like being associated with some weird, funky mechanic that doesn't make sense. But I guess it makes sense. Literally
Damn Meiwas, dude.
lump us in with this weirdness.
All right, so the region is coming out in KR December 29th.
They should add cars next.
10
No.
days. 10 days. December 29th, the Mountain of Eternal Winter will be released in its full form to Korea. NAEU, their translator's on a holiday break, so we're not going to get it for a while. And they do only have the one. Now they said they're hedging. Now this is everyone thinks I'm copium on this. I'm just on the cope, hardcore coping. But they said first half of 2022 for NAEU, or rather for global. But they also said that they do not want it to take as long as Odalita, and that is their primary goal, to make sure that it's done sooner than it took for them to get Odalita out to us, because that wait was way too long. So my guess on this is they are going to announce the release date during the second Calpheon Ball in March, and it's going to come out by the end of March. There, I said it. End of March. Write it down. Note it.
For who?
For the global release for Mountain of Eternal Winter. End of March.
Global release.
Yep. I think with Lost Ark coming out, the timing is like perfect. I know like you probably want to release stuff on the day or whatever. I don't know really how that works, like strategically what's best. But I imagine like a month after Lost Ark, once people have kind of gotten into it and maybe some of the people fallen off, to release a new region with a bunch of stuff to go for would be a pretty easy way to get people back to the game. At least the people that are going to probably play still. And then console will get it in March 2024, yeah. All right, your guys' thoughts. When is this coming out while I use the restroom?
I mean, I highly doubt it's going to be as early as they're hoping. I think it's going to end up being later. There's always some sort of like hidden reason why they have to delay content. It's just how it's always been. I just don't foresee them getting it out in a reasonable time frame. What do you think, Rose?
Yeah. I think that's some copium. I don't think global release is gonna be a thing, honestly. I don't know. I feel like they've been doing global releases less lately. Am I incorrect about that?
Yeah, a good global release would have been reworks.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like they're probably going to give it to KR first, and then we'll get it, like, I don't know, fucking a month after, maybe 2 months after. I'd like for it to be a global release.
Yeah.
I don't think it will though. If I had to guess exactly when it would come out, I would expect them to announce it at the Calpheon Ball Part 2 thing, right? Obviously. And then I would say probably like 2 weeks after that for KR, and then like a month, 2 months after KR gets it for everybody else.
Seems fair.
I don't know. There's no telling with this company, unfortunately. There's actually no telling.
What happened? What did I miss? Everyone in chat is mad.
I
We
was
don't
just
think
saying,
it'll be in a
I don't think it's
realistic
going to be
timeframe.
I don't think it's going to be a global release.
Well, no, of course not. They said it's not. What do you mean? It's coming out in KR.
Why did you say it's going to be a global release then?
Well, they said it's coming out in KR the 29th, but that the global release for everyone else is going to be later.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So why did they say it like that then? Because it's not.
Well, because that's
that's
how
not
they've
a
been
global
referring
release.
to everyone else is that the rest of the globe is getting it this day. KR is separate.
They themselves are not a part of the.
They should say KR is getting it on this, and then the lesser release is going to be a little bit later.
It's funny because
Lesser.
I went to the restroom, I went through my bedroom, and I heard Miss Frosty had the stream open on her phone. She's like sitting there like doing some shit, and she has the stream open on her phone. I could hear Nayashi. And I literally said to her, God, don't they just sound so excited? And then she just started laughing because Nayashi just sounds so sad when he's talking. He's like, yeah, I guess they're going to release it in a few months. And then I come back and the whole chat's like, are these two even listening?
I was saying that they're probably not going to release in the time frame that they think, like, that they want to release it. I think it's going to probably be around the 6 months. So that's why I'm kind of like, this is not going to happen.
Beefy King said, can I join the podcast? I can ignore you with equal vigor.
I'm in the middle of a fucking it's 5-on-17 GVG right now, okay?
Oh my god. All right. Let's
It turns out bringing one person for my 600 gearlit ass wasn't enough. He had to bring fucking 27 more.
Miss Frosty said the energy needs to come way down. She just typed that in chat. Oh my god, dude.
I mean, if you want, I can put on my I can talk like those like really annoying YouTubers do. Like, what's up, guys? Today we're gonna be talking about the Calpheon ball. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. Make sure to join our giveaway. Like, I can do that kind of shit.
No one's asking for that extreme. Just follow the conversation.
Dude, I'm in a GVG. What do you want from me?
Why are you in a GVG during a podcast? It doesn't even make any sense. All right, next up, the fucking alpaca. Shies can ride a goddamn llama. All right, just more evidence that they hate this class.
It really is.
They fucking hate this class. This alpaca looks slow and useless and dumb, and it's literally just always going to be a goddamn roleplay llama riding.
Oh my god, it's so great. It cracks me up.
Now, in fairness, we don't know what the mounting situation is going to be like here in the winter region, so it's very possible no one could ride mounts except for Shies on their alpacas.
I'm actually really upset about this change. Why can't berserkers ride alpacas?
That is a good question.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Go ahead, Frosty, say it.
I mean, it's like there's nothing to say about like why is there an
Go ahead and
alpaca?
say what you said during the stream. Go ahead and say what you said during the stream.
Oh yeah, Zerkers can't ride the alpaca because it'll break their albacas.
Oh my god.
Dude, this is so annoying to look at. When I think about like, can they, I don't know what their development budget is, but whoever spent time developing this llama, if they could just put him on a different game and then hire another translator would be fantastic. Just to sort of speed things up. Like, hey, all right, guys, at the end of the week, the meeting where it's like, all right, show me everything you've done. It's like, all right, I decided Shai should be able to ride a llama. It's like, all right, you're out. We're going to get a translator. We're like, what? Oh, my God. This makes me sad. God. I don't know why, but during Christmas time, it's almost Christmas now. It's December 19th. We're 6 days away from arguably the biggest holiday where I live, and the smile on this alpaca's face is pissing me off. I'm just feeling like a Scrooge. All right, next up is ice fishing. Has a new mini game. Everyone can do it, apparently.
Yeah, not just Shai's.
Not just Shai's. There's other people there ice fishing. It has a new mini game. It's gonna be loads of fun.
Jesus.
Now who has the energy problem?
Here's the funny thing about it. Maybe if ice fishing is good enough, maybe Rezlar will be able to save up enough silver to get his Fallen God armor.
Oh no, you didn't.
Listen, here's the thing. If they want to add like RP stuff like this, like go for it, right? But I would like a report on how much time and money in like hourly wage was wasted on this shit, just so I can have a reasonable level of outrage.
Yeah.
Well, they gotta have stuff that fits the theme of the region, you know? They gotta make it all exciting and shit.
Okay. After that, they had a list of things that are still in development, but are not quite ready yet. All right. We're just going to power through this list. All right. So content that's completely on hold, 10v10. The 10v10, what were they calling it? The 10v10, they had a word for it. God, what is it? Anyone remember?
No.
Chat, help me out. 10v10 squad. It wasn't squad. It was like another word for squad. Oh,
no,
10v10 crew battles. Yeah, crew battles.
Yeah, crew battles.
So 10v10 crew battles on hold, like just totally on hold. I guess they stopped development of it entirely. The trading rework also on hold. In development is Arena of Solaire, the 1v1 or 3v3. This time they said 1v1 or 3v3 ranked arenas. They showed an MMR screen with a level 55 lawn that was like in 6th place. Shows you how busted that class is. And they said they have the framework for the UI and the MMR and whatever. That's still in development. No time frame or release date. They said they're going to release 2 RBF maps still. One will be... Oh, no, sorry. They said they're going to release 2 maps for the arena. One will be open. One will have more obstacles. The ranking system with rewards. System will be based on your characters, not your family. It's still in development. No date. RBF, they're going to make the new RBF map in Valencia, new objectives, etc. They didn't... it's going to be released in KR first. It just hit Global Labs actually this weekend. And we'll talk about that in detail in a little bit. Tier 10 Unicorn, no preview yet. It will be able to run on water. They're still working on it. New Calpheon Elvia Realm will be after the Mountain of Eternal Winter release. They didn't really say too much about it. They showed the troll. They showed combat with one of the trolls, like an Elvia troll, which looked pretty sick. And then they talked about how there's going to be an Elvia Star's End, which I actually like that idea. That sounds really cool. Black Star Raid is still in development.
T10 Unicorn, Lone Wolf's freaking out. He's like, it's a Jesus horse.
Green, they still want to do green weapons with special effects based on changing environment. I wish they would just scrap that idea. It sounds horrible. This one is my favorite because the way I wrote it, I reread it the next day. I was like reading through my notes because, we were drinking during it. So I was like, I don't know if I'm going to remember all this stuff.
Yeah, we were fairly intoxicated.
But this
especially Frosty. Frosty was pretty lit, dude.
Yeah, once the alpaca got shown, I started taking shots. The terror.
Understandable.
This is exactly how I wrote it down in my notes. I'm going to read it verbatim. Here we go. Terror of the Abyss. Explore the abyss with limited vision. Each time you die, you only keep half the loot. You can go deeper, but it's risky. Period. No real info. ... Just reminded us it was an idea. Yeah, which is literally what they did. They literally didn't even say anything new about it. No new previews. They just mentioned exactly verbatim what they mentioned the last time they announced it and showed nothing. So it's like, okay, I guess it's still on their minds. Mini servers, they're still working on it. Still think that's a super weird thing. I don't know what the point of that is going to be. And then they went through a Q&A phase. So that was kind of the ball. And like, now obviously like there's a lot of stuff with the Mountain of Eternal Winter for sure. There's a lot of content there, and I'm excited about a lot of that content. And I think it's going to be really cool and really fun. A lot of new stuff to go for. But overall,
it's
for a
worth
ball,
pointing out as well that that isn't exactly a new announcement.
well, yeah, but you knew. I mean, no region ever is, right? Like if they go announce the new region, that weird far away region that's supposed to be over and blah blah blah, like it's still not something that's out. But now they actually had real stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, so a lot of the stuff in it was new. Like the items were new. The
snowboarding, the alpacas, the ice fishing.
Showing
No, they
the grind
added a
spots.
lot of really meaningful stuff to it.
Well, last time they said it was only going to be 2 grind spots. They showed like the Yetis and the Pillbugs, and then this time they showed the Pillbugs, the Yetis, but also described 2 other grind spots that are like have mechanics, the new random bosses, new items, etc. Whatever. There's probably going to be a world boss too, I'd imagine. And then the new questline thing was kind of new. That I know for most veterans doesn't really matter. And we still don't know what the deal is with the giant area. Hopefully those giants are actual mobs that we could fight.
Why do you think there's going to be a world boss?
I don't know why I think that, because there's not one in Odalita.
There's not one in Odalita.
So that's a good
why
question.
I was curious.
That's a good question. I don't know why, and maybe there's not one, but maybe because they haven't done one in a while.
Maybe.
Well, that's fair.
Maybe
That's why I was whenever you went to the bathroom, I was telling Ashley, like, dude, there's seemingly no pattern. There's almost no pattern to what they decide to do with almost anything anymore. I mean, in that context, it was regarding region releases, like whether they're global, not global, when they're going to come out, when they're going to announce them. But it also
is literally picking it out of a hat.
Yeah, it's also like, I don't know, like they broke convention with Odalita not having a world boss, so they broke convention with fucking
surprising, because Odalita, you could definitely figure out a world boss for that. There's a lot of like different like warring mobs and lore in that particular region. So
yeah, they also broke convention with Dragon by not giving it any decent grind spots.
Well, that was the thing. So that was one of the things they touched on for a split second, because someone during the Q&A, they mentioned if they're going to buff any other areas the same way they buff Valencia, and they said that Dragon and Kama are set to get like revamps for the grind spots, similar to what happened to Valencia.
That'd be good.
But that they have to be careful with them because they also have treasure items, so they don't want to make it like overly like a spot that everyone feels like they need to be. They did say they're going to look into Gyfin again. And potentially have it be a one-man spot or something.
Really?
They said something. What was the Gyfin thing? Let me find it.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Let me see. I had it. I think I wrote it down. Let's see. Yeah, they said that they were discussing a potential revamp to Gyfin and the possibility of making the underground area a one-man dungeon.
Huh.
The underground area.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Which is like most people, if you've never died at Gyfin and had to respawn at Node, most people have never even seen that underground area. But when you die and respawn, you spawn underground in this like cave and you got to walk out. That's where like the Node
if you've done the quest line. Well, actually,
no,
I don't think the new quest line takes you under there, but the old one did.
Did the old one? I don't remember. I don't remember ever going in there until I was in a GG.
Because the old one, you had to like turn into like this orb of light.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
And go through it.
Correct.
And it was like really confusing because the auto path never worked. But yeah, in the new quest line, actually, I just remembered because I just did the quest line not too long ago. Like, yeah, the new one, you don't go down there anymore. So now there's no reason to go down there.
Yeah, there really kind of isn't. Actually strange, dude. Actually strange. But I'm okay with that. I kind of like the idea of a one-man dungeon. I think that's all right. I think they said most of the grind spots in the Mountain of Eternal Winter are going to be more solo focused. If I remember that correctly. Didn't they say
yes,
that?
I remember them saying that as well. They said that they've been coming out with like a lot of party spots lately and changing things to be party spots. So I think I remember them saying that as well. Something to the effect of like all of these are solo spots. Which I remember. The only reason I really remember that is because I remember seeing a lot of people in the chat complaining. Not in your chat, but in like the broadcasting streams chat. There's a lot of people like, boo. Like, they've given us so much party content lately. I don't know how you
Well,
can think like they haven't given us.
Some of the spots
I
I think people don't realize. Like, Oloons is pretty fucking good. I think Turos actually, especially with the Fang changes, Turos is also pretty fucking good. And it's a chill spot. Like, once you get used to Turos, it's really chill. I literally grind Turos like every other day nowadays. I CR, although that's more for lower geared people. So for a lot of veterans, it doesn't mean that much. But CR is also a very good money spot for lower geared people. Trees, they said they're going to revamp. Gyphon, they said they're going to revamp. Those are 2 party spots. So it's not like there's none. I just I don't know. I want more spots like Oloon. If they're gonna do party spots, I want them to be more like Oloon Valley instead of like CR. Like CR feels like just the circle grind, but 2 people happen to be with you, so it doesn't really feel like anything. But like Oloons is more like you actually have to like pay attention. So I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening. But yeah, they said that most of it's gonna be
I think diversity is the main thing.
Yeah,
right. Because I think having a spot like CR that where the mobs aren't super hard to kill is good, because then you can go to that place and do that type of PvE where it's like Dynasty Warriors, right? But also having the Loons type of spot where you actually kind of have to pay attention. It's kind of like a BAM type of mob, right? Yeah,
I forgot both the dungeons are also party spots.
Yeah. See, that's what I was saying. Like, I don't know how people can feel like they haven't been like doing good in the party spot department lately.
I still think the second dungeon needs buffs for its rewards. It's so fucking hard. It's hard and takes a long time. The second dungeon needs better rewards.
But yeah, I think the one-man dungeon thing is a good idea, because again, just more diversity.
Plus,
I wonder if it's gonna be like BAMs, or if it's just gonna be like, because like Gyphon's hard to kill by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
They're tanky, so I wonder if they're gonna keep them like tanky, and it's gonna be like a BAM situation, or if they're gonna nerf down the Gyphon mobs in the Gyphon dungeon so that you can grind them like normal.
Interesting.
Also, my GVG's over now, so I'm paying attention.
Hell yeah, dude! Welcome back. Now that we're done with
I couldn't leave my GVG because I was the one who started it. You know the rules.
Here's the thing. You know what we have, Reslar? We have way more party spots than we have fucking PvP content right now. So please, let's focus on arenas. This new RBF, which I don't know if you guys are ready to talk about it. I'm ready to talk about it.
Yeah, let's
talk about this
the RBF.
Yeah, so this RBF is a... Let me see if I could pull it up from my previous VOD. Maybe that'll be... maybe that'll work. What day was the global app patch? Thursday? Thursday night? Here we go. Let's see. Where or when was I in the RBF? Here we go. All right. So now keep in mind, I was on Kuno and my gear is scuffed on there, so I was just like getting farmed when I was in there. But essentially so you're running around Valencia City, you have a spawn point, each team has a spawn point. You can kind of see where the towers are. They're always kind of like through the walls, so you can see them far away, or you can look at the mini map and see them as well. When you actually press the normal map, it doesn't really show you anything. Not sure if that's intended or if that's going to get changed when it actually comes out. But yeah, there's 5 capture points. The only thing you're trying to do, you can see your points and all the information is in the top left side. It shows which towers are taken. When it shows the towers on fire, that means someone's on it, capturing it in that moment.
So
yeah.
So for people that are like listening instead of watching, we should try and clarify at the baseline. This is a Battlefield-esque like you gotta capture, take control of, and hold multiple points,
Mm-hmm.
and then holding those rack up points, and then it's the first to a certain amount of points wins. Correct?
Yes, domination.
Yes,
believe is what it's
domination.
called.
Yeah.
So it's the first to 3,000 points. Your kills don't matter, your deaths don't matter, and each individual player does not have any points or score or anything. So you're only playing for points in the actual, like by capturing these towers. Every time you capture a tower, I believe each tower gives you 3 points per second. And so if you have 5, you're essentially getting 25 points per second, and the first team to 3,000 wins. So it lasts somewhere between like 15-20 minutes. But yeah, the cool thing is, so here's some of the concerns, and I want to address a lot of the concerns that people had. One, people are going to be camping on roofs, so it's going to be a nightmare fighting like rangers, archers, wizards, whatever, witches that are camping on roofs. But there are so many ways to get on a lot of these roofs that I don't think that that's nearly as much of a problem as normal RBF, just because in normal RBF, normally when you see someone up on a roof, you have to climb the roof all awkwardly right in front of them. And you're just like getting hit by shit, you know? Whereas this one, you can climb up multiple ways on these buildings to get up on a roof. And even if they're camping on a roof, you can still do something by like just going to a totally different tower and trying to steal it. So like if they're camping on a roof over one tower, there's 4 other towers. You could just go take one of those towers. You're not like beholden to the single tower that they're camping on a roof near. The other thing is, as far as like gear score, obviously you use your full gear in here. But one of the reasons them not counting kills as anything, one of the reasons them not counting your deaths as anything, one of the reasons them not counting any of your kills as like you getting points is a good thing, is because your gear really doesn't matter that much. You can still help your team in here even if you have completely shit gear. If you just want to hop on a trial character, you 100% can help your team win.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have like good gear, because anyone can run around someone else and go grab a tower.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could like help someone in like the 2v2, like with CCs and stuff, even if you don't do like that much damage, or just run around.
Like you can be helpful
towers.
Just by playing smart. You don't have to be good at PvP necessarily.
Exactly. And then the other concern is like having DP memes inside the tower, like trying to get them actually off of points. And one of the reasons that is was addressed in here, one of the reasons that, or how that was addressed in here, which by the way, you see me over here, for some reason I can't see swap when I happen and slash to the left, and it was tilting the fuck out of me. It's like bugged on Global Labs. Anyway, everyone's like, your evasion and DP get reduced when you're inside those circles. So if you're some DP meme, you're going to be killable when you're in a circle.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so it's not like if you have some crazy 540 DP shy, they're going to be a lot easier to kill. Essentially.
Does it?
Oh, wait, what does it
like
exactly
stack?
make you?
Does it like stack over time, so you become less tanky the longer?
It didn't
you
mention
it,
that.
or how does it work?
It just said that their evasion and DR is like reduced when they're inside the circle. So I don't know exactly by how much. They didn't say the formula or anything.
Yeah, my concern would be like if I am a gearlet with low DP, I go in this circle and now I'm literally dying to like one fireball from a wizard outside the circle, right?
Yeah.
That would be my concern. So if it's like percentage based, then that's fine.
Yeah.
If it is like the longer you sit in it, the more it ticks down, then I guess that would be fine, because then you can just like stay out of the circle for a little while to reset it. I don't know. But then again, you could just do that as a DP meme. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So
I hope that's percentage based.
I don't know if it is, but the kill speed felt fairly normal. Some people are asking, does it have RBF DR? It felt like it to me. It feels like there's RBF DR. There were definitely times where I got people really low and then Spin Spree healed them, per usual. Even the buffed version of Spin Spree, so that was upsetting and sad. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure how it works. It didn't feel too bad. Most people were fighting inside the circle for a decent amount of time that it wasn't like that horrible. I don't know how it scales, but essentially the whole point of it is to prevent DP memes from like having a huge advantage. So
right,
yeah.
Which makes sense.
I
just don't know if that's the way to solve that.
The other thing is,
Oh.
it was incredibly fun. Like, it's actually so fun. Dude, I had a ton of fun. Like, running around, like, seeing people like, oh shit, there's 3 people at that point. I'm going to run a completely different direction, go to the other point because they're not paying attention. Like, I don't know, the whole thing, it was actually a ton of fun in there. And we only had, like, 12 or 13 people, and I was dealing with the bugs from my stupid half moon slash, which you could see me sitting here doing it again and again because it was really tilting me. I'm like, I literally, like, apparently I moved to the left C swap half moon all the time, and yeah, me slow swapping every time because of it was pissing me off. My biggest issue with it are 2 things. Is one, I think ninjas and kunas shouldn't be able to, they should be revealed if they're in the circle. I don't think you should be in concealment.
Oh, you could just sit in and invis?
Yeah, and more...
Yeah, that's probably not good.
More egregious than that, because at least they can be hit out of concealment, is if you're, like, a Sork, like, I'm pretty sure you could just capture the point and hold your iframes, and there's, like, nothing anyone could do. You know what I mean? Like, while you're just spamming Nightcrow, or if you're in Nightmare or Nocturne. I'd have to test it, but I'm pretty sure when you're in Nightmare, which, by the way, lasts 10 seconds now if it's completely off cooldown, you're just capturing the point, like, while you're invisible and can't be hit. So those things kind of need to be addressed. Like, if you're completely, like, maybe make it while you're invincible in any invincible frames, or invisible, that it's just not adding progress towards the bar.
Yeah.
It's the only
Probably
thing I
if
could think
you're... I don't know how the mechanics work, so I don't know if this would be fine. But maybe just make it to where if your character is not visible, then you're not capturing the point.
Yeah. Exactly.
The game was going to be pretty fun, though. Like, all in all.
Oh, I think
It's just
people are
something
just going to
different.
be... Yeah, I think people are just going to be excited to not be in TDM anymore.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the main concerns. The other main concern is I wish they would just do, this is like a whole game thing. This needs to be changed. Please, if there is an object behind me, just make that object transparent and don't change my zoom level. Please, for the love of God. It's really bad.
That kind of stuff is awful. And with all the buildings and everything, I could see that being pretty
Yeah,
bad.
I was gonna ask about that. So this is in Valencia City, right? So this is, you're running presumably like in and out of buildings and like through like arches pretty frequently.
Yep.
So how does that feel in terms of like PvP?
Well, the PvP part of it feels great. It honestly was really fun, especially because this has an element of like, you feel like you could just run away a lot because there's so many you can actually like ditch somebody if you know the town well, right? Like you can go there's so many paths and corridors and things you could jump on that it's actually really fucking awesome. The problem is like I was saying, is the zoom thing is really fucking annoying, which, by the way, this is that new really bad serpent ascension. You see this guy? Here's the serpent clip that Nakani was just asking for in chat. So he grabs me, serpents me. Let's see, what health am I? I'm at 4,200. So he grabs me. I'm at 3,900 when he uses serpent, and 0. That's the nerfed serpent, by the way. So yeah, it's like the whole zooming thing like actually was irritating. Like I only played 2 games and I was getting annoyed by the camera zooming. And I don't know if that's something they'll ever fix in this game, but God, I really hope they do.
They really need to.
Dude, it's like, because in Node Wars, it's already annoying in Node Wars anytime there's trees and stuff, but like, dude, it's not that hard.
It's so disorienting.
It's really disorienting, and it changes your view a lot. Like, you kind of have to go top-down view as much as you can when you're running around in this Valencia area. Like, here where this capture point is on this clip that people are watching, like, if I move my camera to the left, I literally get zoomed in, and it's impossible to see the enemies. So, it's just, yeah, hopefully that gets changed. But
so
yeah.
I have
and
another question.
Those are just...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, is it Valencia City? They've made no changes to it? Like, it's literally just Valencia City?
So, I'm not as privy to the layout of Valencia City as other people might be, so other people might be better to answer that. It's not the entirety of Valencia City, because there is kind of a circle region, but it is pretty huge. It probably took me like 60 seconds to get from the two like furthest points from each other. So it's actually relatively spread out, which I like a lot too. I don't know what the amount of people or the limit is in here. So people are all saying the city is the exact same. So it's just normal Valencia City. There's no actual changes. There's no NPCs or anything.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess it's the normal city. But there's a lot to this city. I never realized how many like. I mean, you see me running around through all these stairs and alleyways and all sorts of like cool stuff to get to different paths. It's actually really sick.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool aspects to the city, and I'm glad they actually did it utilizing a city. I think that's a really cool.
Yeah, urban warfare, dude.
Yeah.
But part two to this question is, where do you spawn then? Do you spawn like on a roof so that you can't be like spawn trapped by like people, or like?
Okay, so here I'm gonna die right here. So where I spawn, let me see. Hold on. Let's see. I respawn at like the edge, like my team's edge of the city. And there's a black circle there, so you can't go any further. It's basically like the outer edge. But I don't know. I never had an enemy in my spawn. So can the enemy get to your spawn? I actually don't know if they can or can't, because it never happened in my games. But yeah, some people are saying there's an invisible wall that you can't attack through.
That would be good, because could you imagine the spawn camping? Because people.
Yeah, because that's what I'm concerned about, right? Is that, like, listen, as much
fun
in
RBF.
As much as everyone's gonna enjoy this new RBF, the old RBF, the age-old RBF problems are still gonna exist. Mainly the teams, the balancing or lack thereof. Even the amount of people on each team is never actually correct in RBF, because it's just so stupid the way they assign people to teams. So there's definitely going to be RBFs where you're going to have like fucking 25 people on one team and then 10 on the other. And so I'm wondering, like, what ways are there? Because like in normal RBF, even though it's not that helpful, there is some way to try to counteract that with the RBF buff, right? And the fact that you can't kill people as soon as they spawn, right? You have a kind of an opportunity to, prepare. You take the RBF buff, you know that they're going to be sitting at the bottom of the little thing you got to jump down, right? So, like, what is the equivalent of those countermeasures in this RBF?
Here, I'll answer that now. I have a more clear picture of it. So basically, I guess they could technically camp spawn or spawn your camp, but everyone automatically spawns with the RBF buff. No matter what. Like, the moment you leave your spawn, you have it, which is kind of two different things. So one, obviously, if people are camping you could just push them off a little bit easier since you're going to have the spawn buff. Two, there are multiple paths you can go right when you spawn. So if you do just like take your spawn buff and just want to run to go try to capture points on the other side of the map or whatever, you could do that as well. And then the spawn zone is, I guess it's a safe. Let me see when I die. I don't remember if it was. I can't tell if it's a safe zone because Valencia City is blue the whole way through. So it's hard to say. So I don't know if you can't damage people right in the spawn area or not. I'm not too sure, but yeah, Valencia City icon is blue like everywhere I go. So it's hard to say if like what the deal is with that. But the other thing is, because the spawn buff is 15 seconds or whatever it is, I think it's 15 or 12 seconds. Yeah, it's 12 seconds. The capture point that's closest to each spawn is going to be the hardest to get, because you still have like 4 or 5 seconds of spawn buff when you get to it.
Right.
So the two on the edge is going to be the hardest, and I don't think it's going to be that easy to spawn camp someone. I think it's actually going to be really hard.
Okay, interesting.
Someone's saying they got an MMR system. I don't know how you do an MMR system for Dominion or for Domination, but I don't know.
RBF doesn't need an MMR system.
No,
it doesn't even need to be
it.
that complicated. It just needs to try to equal the teams and the amount of players they have. The biggest problem with RBF in terms of its balance isn't even gear score necessarily, although that can be an issue. That's very rarely the issue, is that there's too many geared people on one team. The issue is always that because of when people like leave or DC or whatever, there always ends up being like double the amount of people on one team than the other. And it's a snowballing problem where somebody gets annoyed that his team has like 5 less people than the enemy team. He leaves along with like some other people, right? And now it's 10 less people, and then it's like 15 less people. It's just a problem that gets exponentially worse. I don't know how you solve this. I don't know. I feel like the easiest way to solve this is you take somebody, like, let's say that there's a 5-person difference or like a 4-person difference, right? This is after 10 minutes have passed, so no more people can join, right? You have a 4-person difference in the teams. Take 2 people from one team, slap them on the opposing team, and then give them win rewards regardless of whether they win or lose. So that there's no, like, you're not being punished for trying to
but
rebalance the teams.
Yeah, but then you just have the AFK people is the problem. And you already have a lot of them because the EXP, like the Brias of the world that literally just AFK and don't help your team at all, so there's a waste of
Well, I
space.
think that's a different problem entirely, though, that needs to be solved on its own.
Yeah, but if you get... Well, how? I mean, because they're not actually AFK, they're just running around not doing anything, watching Netflix. I mean, I don't know, like giving everyone a reward, the same reward for participating, I don't...
I'm not saying give everyone, I'm saying give the people who are getting moved over. So if you're on the team that's gonna win because you have double the amount of people as the enemy team, and then you get moved to the losing team,
I see.
we don't take away your winning rewards because you got moved to the losing team.
I got you. I see. You're saying it shifts you. It's like it rebalances mid thing if it's completely one-sided. I got you. Okay.
Yes, exactly. Yes, and then the people who get shifted get the rewards of winning whether they win or lose because you don't want to fuck them by giving them losing rewards when they were originally on the winning team.
Right. I mean, in here,
I don't feel like that's that hard to do. You don't even need to do gear score. You don't need to do MMR. You just need to do like people.
Yeah, they could also do like, I don't know, in this version of the RBF, they could do something along the lines of keeping track of like how many points you captured and giving you like your reward slowly gets better and better the more effort or the more you contributed to the actual thing, and not have it be based on kills and deaths, but more on capturing points.
Yeah.
That would be kind of interesting too. We don't know what the rewards are exactly. I don't think they mentioned what the rewards are going to be when it comes to live. So I have no idea.
Incoming fucking 10 mil an hour, dude.
Yeah, I mean that's my expectation that it's going to be nothing. But
for as much as they talk about how they want PvP to move out of open world and into like node wars and battlefields and stuff, because they talked a lot about that at the ball. I don't think like if you didn't watch you wouldn't know about it because it wasn't like a highlight or anything. It was just something that they kept bringing up over and over again, how they want to remove PvP from like they want to remove the ability for you to like flag up and kill somebody. They want to more incentivize like consensual PvP, I guess you could say. Which is like fine, but like you know how you could do that in a really good way is actually make the rewards good for consensual PvP instead of like being dog shit money.
All right, they did not say they want to remove the ability for you to flag up and kill people, for the record.
They did not say that.
No.
They said that they wanted to, because a lot of people were asking them, like, do you have any plans to
change karma? And they said no, but
they said change karma to add things for red players like the Muquin and the desert system and the jail system and all that. They said they weren't interested in it. They had no plans of changing it. Like yada yada yada.
Their phrasing on the killing people was, "We don't want you to feel like your first option is to kill people, like just to flag up and kill people." That's how they worded it.
But it seems very much to me like they're trying to decentivize open world PvP for the most part, at least non-consensual, right? With the flagging and being red and all that stuff. And they're trying to incentivize like areas of PvP. I think they literally said at one point, we want people to be able to PvP in areas where they're fighting other players that want to PvP. And then they said like Battle Arena, like RBF. And it's like, okay, that's great, but why are you not making changes that represent that philosophy that you have? Like that's what's annoying.
Yeah.
They basically just keep nerfing PvP in general, open world PvP.
Yeah, they just keep making open world PvP worse and harder to do without incentivizing people to go PvP in areas that would be like consensual where they want people to go PvP at. It makes no sense. So I don't know. Maybe this will be different. Maybe the rewards for this RBF will actually be good, but I doubt it, and that's upsetting. And they need to fix that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rosar needs his fallen god.
He needs to be able to farm RBFs all day.
He
I mean, I
does.
feel like it's not too much to ask to make decent money per hour doing like PvP.
Nope, we've been asking for it for years. I also agree, and I
Like,
always too.
PvP
I always lean towards like it doesn't even need to be competitive with grinding. It just needs to be where at the end of a day,
Yeah.
if you spent 8 hours PvPing, you feel like, oh cool, I made 700 mil today or whatever the fuck it is, you know.
Like, it's so funny listening to life skillers complain about how little money they make compared to grinding. It's like laughs in only PvPs. Like, it's so silly. Like, you enjoy life skilling, you want to make money. Like, I enjoy PvP, I want to make money. I don't know. And it's annoying.
Well, hopefully, if it does make you money, hopefully it's not raw silver, and it's actual like items that are worth money.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be fine with that. Give us some
Like
some
the-
fucking,
like the old Shadow Arena
Yeah,
boxes?
Shadow Arena rewards, dude. Give us some
Yeah.
Shadow Arena rewards where we get like accessories and shit. That'd be dope. I'm down with that.
They'd
That
have
would be
to.
pretty
sick.
dope.
They'd have to update that. Actually, me and Divios like linked to the Shadow Arena rewards the other day, and it's actually kind of funny how outdated that box is now.
Yeah. They'd have to update it.
They would
I mean,
put
that was
some
what?
dust
That was
and Capra stones in there.
That was 2018, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So that's like, dude, the game is so different from 2018.
Yeah, it is. It's
I
crazy
don't know,
though,
like,
'cause,
yeah.
like back then, 1 sharp, 1 hard, and 2 memory fragments was like fucking nuts because sharps and
I
hards
am
weren't
100
viable.
I am 100% like agree with like it doesn't have to be a bunch of money because again, like we said earlier, there's already too much inflation in the game. So like, give us items.
Yep.
That'd be dope. Give us fucking boxes, like accessory boxes and shit. Like, why not?
They should.
Does anyone have? I forgot to grab a reference. Does anyone have a link to the new class silhouette that they released?
I can probably find it.
It was really funny because we got completely baited.
Yes, we did.
We
I got it.
so baited, and it was hilarious.
I'm posting it in the Discord.
Hold on, I don't know if the Jules. Thank you so much for the raid. Appreciate it, Jules.
Hi, Jules.
Jules, longtime friend of the show. Oh,
Yeah,
you
we
got-
had him
okay.
on as a guest pretty early, didn't we?
Yeah, dude, way early on.
I
All right.
always feel like it's always crazy to think about like how long we've been doing this. Because I think like he was on fairly recently, and then I'm like, oh wait, no, that was like a year and a half ago. Holy shit.
So the
Yeah, it
bait,
was a little bit ago.
the bait that is really really funny.
The Wukong.
The bait that was really really funny is Wukong. We saw all the pictures of Wukong. It was like, oh hey, did you see this new class? I remember in our group chat, it was like, did you see this class? And it's like, yeah, we saw it. I guess like leaked screenshots, leaked skills, blah 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 blah. And then when they come out to talk about a new class, they're like, yeah, we that's another class idea similar to like the Rudum where we were kind of messing with it, but this is the actual next class that's coming out. And they released a silhouette of what looks to be a female in heels holding a giant sword
Yeah.
of some sort.
It was pretty funny how they said it too. They said it like I forget exactly how they phrased it, but it was basically like, so we actually do pay attention to like the community, guys, and so we've noticed that you guys have been talking a lot about the Wukong class, and that's not the next class, just so you're aware.
Nope.
It was like really funny how they phrased it.
It's kind of funny that they even had all that stuff to bait the players in the first place. I
What
wonder
do
if
we
that was
think
kind of
this
on
class
purpose.
is?
Well, she's wearing a mask with horns. She's wearing on her left shoulder there's a dragon.
Yeah, Dragon Knight's been a very popular thing that people have been saying.
And
Really?
it
I haven't even
also
heard that once.
on her elbows it looks like there's some sort of like what you would see kind of like the the cartilage between like the bones of like a bat wing or a dragon wing is what it looks like. It's kind of on the elbows. And then these things look kind of like chains. So I don't know. It definitely has a dragon vibe to it.
Nah, actually, you haven't heard the Dragonite thing because they're not talking about the new BDO class in the New World Discord you hang out in.
Yeah, I guess not.
They aren't, actually. They're just talking about ways to exploit silver and gold.
Yeah, that's true.
And how to figure out swimming.
No, yeah, Dragonite's been pretty popular guess. I've also heard like Death Knight.
Someone said it's going to be a female Dark Knight.
Female Dark Knight, of course.
A female Komodo Dragon Knight. I don't know. This is now again, this is another thing that I have a feeling is going to be the March Calpheon Ball announcement and reveal and teaser, and they'll actually have the trailer and all that. But I don't know. You can't really go wrong with a sword. I know a lot of people like Amortat and Bear that are like, all I've wanted in this game is just a female character with a giant sword. Please win. So looks like it's gonna finally happen.
Well, doesn't DK have a giant sword?
Yeah, but she doesn't actually really use the giant sword that much, and it's a little bit too like curved and edged. This one
They
is
want
more,
like a great sword.
Yeah, they want a female warrior essentially.
Okay.
That's like pure melee.
Yeah. The best part of that announcement to me was that they're apparently still working on the Rudum class.
No, they're not. It's never coming. So
That's what they said. They said they're still working on the Rudum class. There's still hope for not like model level attractive characters.
You're gonna get an orc.
Dude, I hope.
well, what if when they reveal this character, she isn't wearing a mask and it's actually a dragon lady with a dragon tail and everything?
If this is like a Shyvana type class, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Where it's like
That
she
would be
actually is
interesting.
like part dragon that can like turn into dragon and shit. I don't think that's gonna be it. I think it's just gonna be she has fiery mystic animations. We have a little fire dragon running around her for her skills.
The problem for
But if
me,
she was some sort of like half dragon thing, that'd be neat.
the problem for me is that the silhouette looks a lot like Awakened Corsair's silhouette. Just the weapon's a little bit different. The rest looks very similar to me. Obviously, like a different outfit, but the vibe seems similar. I don't know. I'm sure when they reveal it, it's gonna look sick, and I'm gonna be hyped. But for now, it feels so far away. Anyway, so I don't know. Not that excited. We'll see.
Well, plus I think everyone's more looking forward to reworks, right? We have to get through reworks before people start getting hyped for a new class, I think.
Yeah, exactly. They showed a rework trailer. Did you guys see this rework trailer?
I did. I linked
think
it
I
to
did.
you guys.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I think I watched
Yes.
that.
Not the trailer, the demo, the like 20-minute one. The demos,
Yeah.
the combos.
Yeah,
and stuff.
isn't that the one I linked in the chat?
I don't know. I don't know. When?
Damn, Frosty just straight up ignores my messages. Okay, I
Well,
see how
I'm
it is.
scrolling back. I don't see it. I don't even see it. Did you link it to us?
I'm pretty sure I did. Did I not?
Oh,
Oh, you know what? I didn't link it in our chat. I linked it in the Discord. That's my bad.
okay. Yeah,
That's my bad. I linked it in the Discord.
Yeah, the problem is whenever they're just showing off skills. Everyone's like mad about the combos, like, oh, they don't play their game, and it's like, dude, it's literally just supposed to be a demonstration of the skills.
Yeah, they're literally just doing that. That's all.
It's crazy. It's like, oh my. Although I am gonna be honest, I'm impressed that the Sork mouse moved violation.
I was gonna ask about that. Does that just go backwards now if you like press a certain button, or did they actually mouse move it?
Not that I know of. Maybe. Hold on
Also,
one
I love that the Succession Berserker combo was like 5 skills.
Well, that's all you need.
sec. All right.
I don't know
Yeah, no,
why, but that just made me laugh.
The combos were weird and rough for sure, but it was just supposed to be a demonstration of the skills. It wasn't. People take it way too seriously. Also, I don't know, man. This idea that like if you're not a fucking god tier at your class as a developer, I'm like thinking back to I I don't know, none of the StarCraft development team were fucking pro gamers. And everyone seemed okay with that team.
Well,
I just wondered if they
okay.
played their game too, but it's like,
But see, there's an extreme though, right? So like you don't have to be a professional, but I think you do need to spend time playing it, obviously.
Okay,
And
but-
unfortunately, they do play BDO, but it's unfortunate that there's been this stigma that they've had for a very long time, especially in NA. I think that the whole the chimney thing. You remember Chimney Gate?
right.
That was a really bad that was a really bad look for the devs, even though that wasn't even the devs, but it just reinforced this idea that like the people who run this game don't play it, even if that's an incorrect take.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. Like, they have some people playing the game for sure. You could just tell. I don't know. It's like, do I think that they're the best at it? Also, do like some of the like balance or like visual animation decisions are based on like just stuff that they think is going to be cool.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they're never going to just do like, hey, so what do you want us to design? All right, cool. We'll just copy everything you just said. We'll just do that. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks for the info. It's like, it's just
Well,
never
and
going to
pretty
be
much
that.
all the animations look way better.
Yeah, all the animations do look better. All right, wait. Where is is it this one?
Also, I finally, when I watched that trailer, Frosty, I finally saw what you were talking about with the Kuno ruins thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have this nice like UI element, like the martial shards for Mystic and Striker, and
Yeah.
it looks really nice and super clean. But then you have these ugly ass floating Sork orbs around.
Dude,
I
I
was just like,
hate
what
the Sork
the
orbs.
hell?
I hate the Sork orbs, and I don't even like the buffs on my bar. Just give us only one of the 3 interfaces, please.
Yeah, the martial shard type looking thing is fine. Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand why they need to do more than that. It looks good. It looks clean. It doesn't look exactly like martial shards, but it's in that same like it's the same exact design, which is very clean and easy to read and easy to notice. I don't understand why we also have to have Sork floaty orbs and I guess buffs on your bar on top of that. But then again, I don't play the class, so my opinion's irrelevant. In fact, I'm not allowed to have one, so I apologize for everything I just said.
Yeah, shame on you.
Yeah.
Thinking about other classes and Jesus.
Yeah, I'm just like I'm just mesmerized by this sick warrior combo in this trailer. God damn, dude.
Sick warrior combo, dude.
Are we gonna talk about
He
the new
uses the
cool-
PvE skill in the combo. Gotta love it. Who got the shortest? I thought about trying to figure this out when I was looking at it, but I couldn't be bothered to do it because I didn't actually care that much. What class has the shortest like trailer footage? I think it just by looking at it, I was like, I think it might be Kuno.
Is Meiwa Kuno? No, Archer has the shortest. Archer
Does Archer have the
Archer's
shortest?
the shortest. Meiwa and Kuno are probably tied for second.
Yeah, it wasn't very long.
Even the shy
But
one is
Archer's
longer.
kind of you can't do Archer though. Like you can't compare Archer
Yeah,
because
that's
it
true.
doesn't have
'Cause
succession.
Yeah, it doesn't have suck. That's true. I guess
So
based
really,
on that,
it's-
it would be bigger. So it'd be Meiwa or Kuno. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they both look.
Rough boys.
Meiwa might be. Let's see. Meiwa starts at 54 and ends at 36. Kuno starts at 27, ends at 14. Yeah, they're pretty similar. Yeah, I've been saying like I'm pretty bummed out. Like when I look at like the Meiwa trailer and how they fancied up some animations, or the Sork trailer and they like completely fancied up like Violation and turnback / animation. And I don't know why Kuno didn't get any new animations at all. Like even on existing skills. Like I'm not saying we need a new skill, but like it would have been cool if they made Lunar Dash look cooler, or if they made Spin Spree a little bit fancier looking or something. They didn't get any new animation.
Right.
Musa got a bunch. Like Zerker has new
Yeah,
skills.
Musa
Like,
got a bunch. Yeah.
anyone who has a new skill got a bunch. Like Oppression looks fancy. The new tip of the iceberg has that weird like bubble animation in the ice. Like there's like just like little
Yeah.
subtle things, and I don't know what happened to the Kuno ones. Look at that mouse move turn back, or that mouse move.
Didn't they say
Violation.
they
What
weren't
was that?
done with it?
I don't know. And people keep
I
telling
thought
me
they said
that,
they
but
weren't
I
done.
haven't seen anything that says they're not done. Maybe because their skills don't have FPS problems. I don't think so. Did Violation have FPS issues? Not mouse
I
movement.
think it's because
how do they do
you know,
it?
if they changed your animations too much, it would mess with your class identity. You know.
Yeah, why does a Kuno gotta be so flashy, Frosty? You're a ninja, basically.
Yeah, Frosty, be happy with your black ink looking animations. That totally makes sense for your class thematically and aesthetically.
I'm mostly talking about the Awakening. I didn't expect the Suck to get crazy animations just because her skills just don't really have like, they're not like big flashy skills in general. But Awakening has a lot of like flashy yellow sparks and stuff, so kind of surprised. Oh, people are saying you can just move backwards in Violation with the reboot. What do you have to do it?
Ooh.
That's really cool because it's like, it looks so smooth. Burns shards. I think that matters now at all on Sork. All right. Zerker looks good. All right, so I wanted to ask you guys. I'll just let this run in the background while it's going. Oh, okay. All right. If anyone receives a message from Amritat, do not click it. His account got hacked. Yeah.
Oh, that's what that was. I was like, why is he sending me like
do not
shit?
click any links from Amritat on Discord. His account got hacked. Poor Amritat, dude. How do you get your account? How do you like?
How do you
that
like?
easy
How
to
does your
fix?
Discord get hacked? Like what?
Yeah, that sucks. God damn. He down bad for that free nitro. Yeah, he sent me a link and I was like, what the fuck? I just replied to it. I didn't click it. I just replied and said, what the fuck? Are you hacked? He never answered, and then he just messaged me on a different account, said, do not open anything that came from my Discord. My account got hacked. Aw, poor Asame, dude. All right, so I wanted to ask you guys about the reworks. We are very, very close to the release. The release is 3 sleeps away, right?
3 sleeps.
2, 3. Yeah, 1. Yeah. 3 sleeps away. Now they still have been making change. Like every time a patch comes out, there are some changes here or there, like some more subtle changes. But now that you have seen your class's rework, we'll just talk about your individual class. And now that these last 2 weeks, I don't know if you guys have been following, but they basically nerfed the damage like on everything. All the crazy damage that was like kind of nuts, they nerfed. Maybe some of it still slipped through the cracks, but a lot of damage got nerfed pretty hard. So compared to Global Labs, not like compared to Live, unless you're an Awakened Mystic. So question is, how are you guys feeling about your current rework, and which ones are you kind of thinking are going to be the scary ones now that things have been changed a little bit? Starting with you, Nyashi.
Sort. I think it'll be scary.
You think Sork will be scary? Why?
I mean, all they did was just improve everything that's already pretty strong, so, and they still kept all their iframes, basically. So, it's just going to be devastating, I feel. Warrior doesn't look as impressive as I was anticipating it being. I mean, it looks good, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't look as impressive as some of the others.
You don't think it's going to be the meta?
What? Warrior?
Warrior?
Not for large scale.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just no way around it. Like, I don't see Warrior performing amazingly in large scale. They'll probably do a little bit better than what they currently do, but
Yeah, I don't think the reworks really did much to address large-scale concerns for a lot of melee classes, honestly.
I mean,
the good news is that Zerker's no longer a melee class, so we're fine.
True. Yeah, you guys are archers now, right?
Yeah.
True. And on your Meiwa, how you feeling?
Large scale is going to be pretty impressive for Awakening, at least. 1v1s, we'll have to see.
And PvE?
PvE, they both look pretty solid.
Okay. What about large scale and suck?
Large scale and suck, I'll have to wait and see. So
Gotta test
they did
it.
get some decent damage increases and whatnot, and they have the ability to stay in Red Blade state much longer now. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Reslar, what class are you most afraid of now that we're in the home stretch?
I don't know. I think there's a lot of classes that could end up being really, really strong. Sork is up there. Striker for sure is like looking really powerful. Zerker's looking really strong. I think if I had to pick one class that I'm like most scared of, probably be Striker. In all honesty, both Awakening and Succession, I think, got some really, really good changes that are gonna make them very, very powerful. As far as like Zerker's looking really, really strong. They've obviously nerfed the shit out of Q buff and grabs, so now nobody has any reason to complain anymore. And seismic on top of that. Everything that everyone's complained about for years has gotten nerfed, so now there's no reason to complain about Zerkers anymore. So that's gonna be fun. But yeah, they're looking pretty strong. They've kind of swapped them more to being like a ranged class, which is kind of weird. They still have close range damage potential, but not as much it seems like, and they're more consistently like ranged potential now, which is interesting. I'd say in 1v1 you're not going to see much difference in Berserker. You're going to see a little bit of a difference on bad Berserkers that don't realize that grabs aren't going to be protected anymore, right?
Oh yeah, true. On attempt, yeah.
So yeah, like bad Zerkers are gonna get CC'd out of grabs all the time because they're just not being careful with them.
Yeah.
But other than that, you're not gonna see too much of a difference in like 1v1. Small skill, I think Zerker's gonna be way, 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 way stronger. Giving them more range potential 24/7 is going to make them way more powerful in small scale, I think. And then in large scale, I think it's going to kind of even out in large scale. Q buff isn't a thing anymore, so that takes down their effectiveness once every 3 minutes, but you have more range potential permanently. So I think that those two things kind of even out, I think. So that's still going to be strong in large scale. It's going to be more consistent, certainly, but it's not going to have the same impact that it does currently on live with Q buff. So,
right. Do you think it's going to be more fun?
That's subjective.
Obviously,
Yeah.
but that's why I'm asking you.
Do you think I think it will be more fun? Yes, I think it will be more fun. But that's subjective. I've seen a lot of people that say they really don't like that Zerker's going in like this more range direction. But I really like it, actually. I think it's fine to push it in that direction. Especially with them nerfing grabs. The protection on grabs and getting rid of one of our grabs. I think it's fine to push it in the range direction, and I think that it's going to be a pretty decent shift, a pretty sizable shift to the way that we play the class, which is going to be fun. If nothing else, it's going to be fun just to learn how to play the new Berserker. Even if I don't end up liking what the new Berserker is, it'll be fun just trying to figure it all out.
Yeah. What about?
And guess what? At the end of the day, if I don't like new Berserker, there's a bunch of other classes that also got reworked I can go try, and I plan on trying also.
What about the
Yeah.
PvE on Zerker? Awakened Zerker.
Yeah, so I talked about this in our group chat. I'm a bit concerned that they listen. I don't know what the scalings are. I don't know what the damage is because damage on Global Labs is so fucked. But there is a really like high chance, high probability, I think, that Awakened Zerker ends up becoming the best grinder in the game. Honestly, the fact that you can split shot off cooldown means that you can just annihilate packs very, very quick. So it's good for like one-shot spots, right? Because now you can split shot after Ancient Wave, Titan Blow, Seismic, and the new skill that I still don't know the name of. And I accidentally just Q buffed at polys, so these mobs are getting annihilated now, I guess. So it's really good for those spots, but it's also really good for like the more tanky spots, like a Tauros or a Oluns or something like that, right? Because you can combo all of these skills together in like this huge chain of damage, right? Assuming that you're not getting CC'd.
Yeah.
So I listen, I'm not saying it will be, and I'm not saying that it needs to be like buffed or nerfed before I see it. I think that it has a potential of being the next like Suck Lawn or Suck Sage or something, in all honesty.
Okay. Well, it's going to be competing with Zerker, because I keep hearing Zerkers tell me that spin damage is even more nuts in PvE than before.
Suck Zerker, you mean?
Yeah, Suck Zerker, spin damage. So good luck beating the Suck Zerker in PvE.
But like, here's the thing though: since the addition of Seismic, Awakened Zerker is already better than Suck Zerker at grinding. It's just that it's way more APM, and a lot of people don't want to put in the effort. A lot of people grind on Suck Zerker because it's easy, not because it's better than Awakening. So I think that you're going to have, even with the buff to spin, you're probably going to have a similar situation where it's not that Suck is bad at grinding. Suck is good at grinding. It's just that Awakening is better, but you have to put in more effort. And I think it's going to be the exact same after reworks. I'm being told that the new skill is called Scatter Shot.
Okay. That's a ranger skill for sure, so it fits. I actually don't know. That sounds like a skill that could be a ranger shot, doesn't it? Or a ranger skill.
It does. It does sound like a ranger skill.
So I'm cycling through. I'm just going through random videos that I found, like rework videos. But this right now we're playing a Succession Ninja. And here's what's so crazy about Suck Ninja. The only skills that got actual PvE damage buffs to their numbers are Malice. They got additional hits on Malice and Evasive Malice. Beheading got additional damage per hit in PvE, and Katana Shower, or Red Rain. I'm pretty sure everything else has the exact same numbers, but they added PvE crit to a bunch of skills, and now Ninja looks freaking wild in PvE. This dude does blue loot scroll, no Agris, in an hour or whatever, gets 7.8k.
That's insane.
On Suck Ninja. And like, I was worried that Suck Ninja wasn't going to be that good, and then I was like, oh, okay, never mind. Guess it's going to be all right. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
When are they gonna fix this this powder crisis that we're having?
I don't know.
I don't like having to waste like an hour or two every now and then grinding polys for these fucking stones to charge my fucking Vels.
Yeah, I don't like it either, but I do it anyway, because I would say an hour polys lasts me about a week of stones, because I usually get, I pop a temp buff and a loot scroll, and I usually get like 20 or 22 spirit stones, somewhere around there. And then I also just have orders up all the time, and some of them fill throughout the week. But I do think when the December 22nd rolls around, there will be a lot added to the market, at least temporarily. Not a permanent fix, but temporarily. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I don't know. So, do you have any Dark Horse classes that you think are going to be not OP but good, that no one's suspecting are going to be good? Musa?
Probably Musa, yeah.
You're saying Musa too.
I think so. I think
the Mooses are bitching right now, saying that it's going to be dog shit, and it's going to make everyone else think it's dog shit. It's going to come out, and it's going to be fine, if not like fairly strong.
Nikani in chat says Mewa.
Oh, he's just revenge saying it.
Oh, dude, it's actually funny. So for me, I'm really hyped about Kuno. I think Awaken Kuno is going to be a lot better for large scale stuff. It's going to be better in 1v1. Awaken Kuno is going to be better in PvE. The PvE is the one that concerns me the most for Awaken Kuno. I just don't think it's going to be that much better. They added a lot of good changes, but they really only buffed the PvE damage on 2 skills and then added crit on 2 abilities. And then she's faster. So it might be nuts, but on paper, it's not like you wouldn't be like, oh shit, this is gonna be crazy. So we'll see. It might end up being really good. We'll see. But Suck Kuno, I think is gonna be cracked in PvE. It'll be kind of nice. But
Everyone's telling me Valk. Apparently, damage is insane. They escaped the PvP nerfs. He's saying.
Well, they're all mad
Really?
about the Heaven's Echo thing, so they don't really care about what else changed right now. Give them time to mourn, Rezlar, you selfish fuck.
Oh, and I think Mina wants me to bring up the fact that apparently DKs don't have PvE crit.
Yeah, they're not allowed to on Suck. We talked about this. Remember, I went through I think 2 weeks ago when it first happened. But yeah, Suck DK, they removed a bunch of PvE crit from. They removed some from Twilight Dash. They removed some from Wheel of Fortune. And I don't know. It's just odd to me. I don't really know why.
Yeah.
Because I think that those skills should literally just get it back.
Does,
I also would go a step further.
Does Ninja have PvE crit?
Ninja does. I mean, DK has some PvE crit, but they had more and it got taken, which just doesn't make any sense. That's the thing that's weird, because it was like, there was no point during the Global Labs that anyone thought that Suck DK was going to be busted in PvE. So it's like, weird that they would change that. But, I don't know. It's what it is, I guess.
You want to know what class is going to be busted after the reworks? Actually, now that I'm thinking about it. And I always forget about it because no one really talks about it because it didn't get like super big changes. Archer.
Dude, it did get super big changes though. Like that's.
But nobody's talking about it.
I know.
Nobody
no
talks
one
about it.
Archer hits fucking hard.
Nobody
really
talks
does.
about it, dude. That class. I'm changing my answer from earlier. It's actually going to be Archer. Archer is going to become like insane. I think.
I was dueling an Archer yesterday, and holy shit, dude, it was insane.
Well, that's only because they had 365 AP, but yeah.
365, yeah. They had 365. Let me find the Archer.
No, but legitimately, Archer, like, for some reason, not a lot of people are talking about Archer. I think that class probably going to be pretty insane. Just from what I know from when I played Archer and having read the changes, like, as they've been coming, I think it's going to be kind of insane.
Yeah. All right, let me see. Wait, what is this one? Oh, I haven't seen this one. This is an Awaken Lawn grind. I haven't seen this yet. Awaken Lawn reboot. Let's see how this is. I don't know why it's like.
But see,
Koreans like to grind in Portal Room, which is so odd to me.
What I mean by like it didn't get any big changes is it's like there's no clip of like there's no serpent clip, right, of an Archer. There's no like, you know, second seismic that they got, right? These like really like these huge changes that the whole community goes like, whoa, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
I'll find you one.
I mean, they're probably out there, but they're not getting the amount of attention that other classes are.
Yeah, no, for sure. There's not like a oh goddamn clip of it, but I was watching this full like this Archer node war, and it looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's see if I could find it now. It's gonna take me a minute, but oh here, wait, I know where it is actually. So this was just like a
That's because no one plays Archer.
yeah, there's not a whole lot of Archers that play right now. Here, I'm linking in chat in case you want to look at, or linking it in the Discord. You guys want to watch it, but yeah, dude, Archer is crazy because like they have so many more usable pre-awaken skills now. Their awaken skills feel better. They have the accuracy buff that they didn't have before from the passive, like 5% accuracy, which is one of the things Archers were complaining about. Also, their new skill that they got like back in the day, like people kind of forget, like that they actually got one of the better new skills with the iframe.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're looking kind of fat right now, and their new adjusted Shift E for large scale stuff and grinding, plus their new ability, like they're kind of looking fat. Also, that them being able to reveal ninjas for a period of time with their pre-awaken Shift F is also kind of cool.
Oh, they put that ability on a useful skill? I actually didn't know that.
They got back attacks now too, so they could just instant delete you if you run. But
yeah, what's funny is I think the small changes quote unquote small changes. The simple changes are kind of like the biggest for Archer,
Mhm.
like the accuracy, like the back attacks. I think mechanically Archer has always been like fairly strong. It's just it was always like, I don't know, like numbers wise, he's always been kind of lackluster compared to a lot of other classes.
Dude, skipping this video to his node work Gyfin. I want you to see. So it's right around. Where is this? I think it starts right around 2 minutes and 40 seconds. So after they come down from this rock, which is also like he gets so many. He's just getting kills, but he gets put in the perfect position that you'd want to be in as Archer, where your whole ball is like kind of in front of you, zoning. And like everyone is just on the enemy team is just like clumped up and you're just getting free pot shots forever. So it's like right as they start moving down this like ridge. Yeah, watch. He's literally just spamming shifty and you keep seeing the kill thing pop up. Like it reminds me of Cine on his Ranger with Descending Current.
Descending Current, yeah.
Yeah, he just starts spamming shifty over and over and over again while it's on cooldown. And getting kills. It's pretty funny. And it's like a cool, like it's this grind. I haven't node ward here, but this looks super fun to me. I know it's probably tedious and probably irritating, but it still looks really fun to me.
I could see it.
Anyway, his skills look cool. I don't know, and I like that they made all the arrows, like a lot of the arrows like on Shift E or the new arrow, like it's just like big.
Can
like
you send me
fat
that?
AoE.
Wait, is that the?
That's the one I
Portrait
linked in
PvP
the-
The one in
Yeah.
the one in the group chat.
So now this is the Rocky like montage thing where he loses 10 times in a row and then shows him just dominating all the people that killed him.
Yeah.
Dude, he's also using like pre-awakened skills for combos. It's just crazy. Split damage, dude, you have to have split damage on ranged abilities that deal that much damage single target. Like you just have to. And the split damage isn't even that bad on some of it. It only goes down to 70%, and that's only if you hit 10 people. So it's like, or I guess 7 people. You have to hit 7 or more people. Like the idea of like, oh, I should be able to just delete whole groups with my 1 or 2 skills is just never going to be okay. I know people hate split damage, but when you have ranged damage and it's like hard to get to you and there's like people between you, if you can do full damage 100% of the time, it just becomes insane. I mean, the other alternative, the way they would end up balancing it is like removing split damage, just lowering all the damage across the board. But then it's like, then 1v1 becomes just a lot harder for no reason. Or 1v2 or whatever. No, with wizards and witches, well, they do have split damage, yeah, actually, on Blizzard, but they don't have that much split damage, but they don't have this much range stuff either. I mean, this stuff hits way hard. You guys haven't seen what this shit hits like, all right? This shit hits different now. It's not, this ain't your father's Archer. It's kind of cracked. Dude, look at poor Maywa, dude. Nayashi told I was watching that clip with Nayashi and he told me that Maywa didn't play right. That was his takeaway. That Maywa made some mistakes. Archer grinding will be improved a lot, which by the way, no one wants to hear it, but Archer's already good at grinding. Everyone hates to hear that, but Zaki proved it with his video on YouTube where he gets 21k at Orcs on live server with 291 Kudum. That class can already grind. It's just sweaty. It's going to be even better. All right, let me see this. I want to watch this long one for a second. But yeah, anyway, so I was going to say I think Kuno's going to be awesome. For me, I'm trying to think of which class I'm like worried about. For me, it's mostly just ranged damage, like just kind of a combination of like casters being better, archers being better, rangers being better, and Zerker having a bunch of range stuff now is kind of scary. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's one specific class anymore. I was pretty worried about Sork, but they actually did tame it a little bit by nerfing Grim damage a couple times and nerfing their Swirling Darkness skill. So I don't know. And then
I
Dark
think
Horse.
Sork's just so busted already. It's like, I don't know.
That's true. Dark Horse for PvP. I have a Dark Horse for PvE that I may be wrong about, but I'm starting to suspect it's going to be nuts, and that's Succession Sork. I was talking about this right before we started the podcast, but Suck Sork got damage buffs on quite a few abilities in PvE. They're already good at PvE. They also got lower cooldowns on some skills. Blackwave is now insane, has much bigger AoE. It's also fully protected now, and people forget this, but Suck Sork actually has pet damage on 4 different abilities that never scaled with your AP, and now it does. The Dark Servant damage count as pets, and those literally didn't scale with your AP before. And all of those now are going to scale with your AP and your monster AP and your special attack damage buffs and everything. So all of those skills are probably going to hit harder. I don't know. It's kind of scary. I'm worried about it. A little, and I'm not worried about it, actually. I mean, I'm excited for it, but probably no one will discover it for like 5 months. Because like this Awakened Sork just looks way too cool right now. So it's like I don't even know if people are gonna try Suck Sork, because visually, like borderline nothing changed. Like it still has a very similar play style. So I don't think people are really gonna try out Suck Sork for a while. But I could see a random like grind video where it just becomes nuts. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a Dark Horse for PvP. God, I don't know. Like everyone I can think of, like people already suspect it's going to be really good.
Well, I think I think the general consensus is, I shouldn't say every, maybe not every, but like most classes are going to be like better post rework.
Yeah, in some
Yeah.
capacity.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe Awakened Kuno is a Dark Horse, because I don't think people think it's going to be that good. Because I see a lot of people saying that they didn't get anything. So maybe that's a Dark Horse. And it just, I don't notice it because I'm blind. I'm too close to the light. You know what I mean?
Blinded
close to the
by
sun.
the light.
Anyway, JM's saying he doesn't think it's pet damage, but he's not sure. I can't remember what the test was, but I remember it was like being messed with like early on, that like the damage didn't change on any of the Dark Servant abilities when you like put on gear. So I don't know. I guess we'd have to retest it. If it ends up not actually being pet damage, but then I guess it wouldn't really matter, but I don't know. I guess it needs to be tested again. Shy Dark Horse PvE for sure. For solo PvE. Obviously it's already insane for like group spots, but dude, Shy's insane. Like they do so much damage. And their new skill is insane.
I
Their new
think the
damage
real
dealing skill
dark
is insane.
horse is Shy in PvP, at least for ninjas.
Well, a lot of people keep showing Shy's killing their class in their clips. I saw a Shy kill a Valkyrie, a ninja, a tamer. Shys are killing everybody, man.
Didn't they get an overall damage increase of like 20% or something
Yeah.
like that? And then an extra like 34% on top of that for ninja?
Well, the reason then they got the ninja one is because they were already dealing that much more damage to Kuno, so they were just catching ninja up.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, for some reason. I don't know why, but I don't know. Anyway, reworks are 3 days away, and it feels like forever. It's taking so long. Oh, Hash was like Hash and Guardian also got like random buffs. So have we even talked about the buffs on these two classes?
Not really.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so Hash and Guardian we might have talked about Guardian because I think it happened 1 week before the Hash, but yeah, Hash and Guardian got some last minute changes that were actually like really significant. Hash's Awakening got some PvP buffs across the board. I don't think any of it is too nutty. I was like testing it, like it doesn't have any nuke still, like it doesn't have any like descent, but it's like evenly distributed damage buffs kind of across the whole kit, so it feels a lot better. And then its PvE damage got like massively buffed. Like it's actually crazy. Like its PvE damage got like huge buffs. So I'm that's another reason why it's like super hard for me to these days are dragging on, because before it was just like, yeah, I'm so excited for Kuno, and I'm like, hey, the other class I main got buffed. Let's fucking go. So I'm fucking excited. I can't wait.
Yeah, but unfortunately for you, due to the event that's coming out, you're going to be playing everything. So
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen with that. I was really curious what this event actually was, and then when it went to KR, dude, they're literally just retagging every like 30 seconds.
yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you? It's what, 10 mil?
Well, 5 if you've been buying the event Marnie Fuels.
Yeah, 5 if you have it already. But yeah, cheap as fuck, dude. Why not constantly retag?
Yeah,
I have so many classes I want to try. It's going to be a problem.
Tamer's being slept on too a little bit, because there was halfway through the Tamer rework, they got like their protected CCs nerfed, and then that got reverted. So it's just tree climb is the only thing that got nerfed. It doesn't linger iframe, as far as I can tell. Everything else is just improvements. So whatever Tamer was before plus some. There you go. It's Tamer.
Also,
it's gonna be a nightmare to fight.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news,
Yeah.
but both Awaken Witch and Awaken Wiz are looking fucking insane.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
So I hate to be the bearer of bad news for everybody. Regardless of how good your class may be looking for large scale, it's still gonna be really bad compared to those two.
Yeah, it looks fucking crazy. Awaken and Suck like both look kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Especially, dude, Awaken Witch. Like, I want to play Awaken Wizard, like, so badly, like, reworked Awaken Wizard, but I already feel like it's 2018 Wizard again, where I feel bad for playing Wizard because I should just be playing Witch instead.
No.
Like, maybe I'm wrong about that.
No.
But
Dude, Wizard is going to be fucking insane. Wizard got such good changes.
I don't know, man. That new Awaken Witch, dude. Like, Jesus Christ.
Anyway, I don't know.
Please bring up how gutted Nova is and how dead it is, I'm being told.
That Pink Xannies?
It is, in fact, Peak Xannies, yes.
Tell Pink Xannies to stop, alright? To stop.
What do you mean, dude? Dead class.
Yeah. A random little note to Pearl Abyss, please make sure that every class, including Suck DK, is good in PvE. And also explain to us why you felt Suck Sage had to be nerfed so we can understand, because we're all confused in PvE. Please. And thank you. All right. Well, anything else you guys want to talk about? I'm trying to think. I think that's.
I think that gets us caught up.
Yeah, we're kind of sort of caught up. I did want to just briefly mention Lost Ark, if we have a second. It'll be quick.
Okay.
So they had their version of a Calpheon ball, and it's very similar to ours. And I went and did some digging, and so I guess they have one of these every year, just like PA does. I don't know if they do 2 of them or like PA does, but they have one at least every year. I forget the name of it, but someone kind of broke down for me the things they announced from last year, and they essentially got 87% of the announced items from the previous thing, right? And now if you compare that to ours, we're closer to around 32%.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd be surprised if we're anywhere near half.
Yeah, and one of the things is like they're doing all the, like, when you read their event, it's crazy because it's very, very parallel to what our announcements look like, right? It's like, we know some of these classes aren't good and we're going to buff them up, and we're going to add animations to older classes. We're going to balance stuff, and we're still planning on doing new content, and then here's going to be a new class and all this stuff. And I'm just like, the more and more I look at it, the more and more I'm like, I hope Pearl Abyss is taking them very seriously, because I know it's isometric and everyone is writing it off as like, well, it's isometric, it's a different game. But the thing is like, the game is very easily accessible. It's incredibly fun, and there's a lot of shit to do. And so far, their reputation is that they mostly deliver on the things that they're doing. Now, I get like there's PvP balance is a big complaint over there, same as here, and I guess we'll see this year where they said they're going to address PvP balance as best they can. So we'll see. But the point is, like, they are not ArcAge. I keep saying this, but they're not ArcAge. They're not Blessed. They're not New World, where it's a total crapshoot. It is already a successful game with a huge following, and there are a lot of people that are excited about it. And I think that Pearl Abyss needs to hire a translator, because you can't be releasing stuff super late. You just don't have the leeway or the luxury to do it anymore, because players will just play something else. And B, like, they really need to start focusing on getting the things they talk about actually released in a fairly timely manner. Because they're gonna have a lot of competition, and it's gonna be tough. And Lost Ark looks super fun, and I'm gonna play the hell out of it. And I don't know. It's just like dude, that when we were doing the Calpheon Ball, I was like, I'm always blown away by how many people watch the Calpheon Ball, because to me, BDO, like, overall feels like a relatively small game when you think of games like
as far as viewership,
Fortnite, or when you think of games like League or any of these like big games, right?
It's niche.
Yeah, it's like more niche. But then I like look at Lost Ark, which everyone keeps telling me like, no one's really gonna care about it because it's niche. But like during our Calpheon Ball, we had something like I don't know, 55,000-60,000 viewers across all the different languages. Like Lost Ark was at like 160,000 on Twitch, and then another like 50,000 on YouTube. It like wasn't even close. And that shit's not even out here yet. So it's like,
I think that's part of it, though, is the hype around it, right? But yeah, I mean, definitely.
Yeah, but the people here don't know. Like, all those announcements are not for NA. Those are all KR announcements. Nothing was for NA in those announcements, like, at all. So it's like, yeah, it's only gonna get bigger.
Removed from the Lost Ark context, I feel like we do need to address that they actually did acknowledge on the lack of delivering what they said they were going to deliver. They actually did say, like, straight up, like, hey, we know we like said that we wanted a bunch of things like to come out, and they haven't, and that's like frustrating for players and disappointing for players. They did bring up like the excuse of like, well, we wanted to push Reworks out first, but they didn't lean too hard on that. They basically acknowledged that they've been over promising and under delivering, and they said that they kind of want to stop doing that.
Yeah.
Which I think is a big part of like fixing this problem, right?
Yeah.
Of like so the way that they phrased it, if I'm remembering correctly, because this was quite a while ago, and also I was slightly intoxicated, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I vaguely remember them phrasing it as like, what we show you guys at these balls is usually a mixture of things that are coming out soon, things that we're working on, and things that are like just kind of ideas. And
they shouldn't show things that are ideas.
Yeah, and basically they said we want to stop showing you guys things that are at the idea stage or things that are like in development but really far out. They said we only really want to show you guys things that are like fairly close around the corner, like confirmed to be happening, sort of thing. So I think that'll go a long way in terms of like, because one of the things I would like to know if we're comparing these two games is how many things did Lost Ark promise or like say it was going to come out and that they were working on in their ball.
I'm glad you asked. So let me pull up this.
Is it
list,
comparable?
Okay?
Like if they're comparable, then that's interesting.
Yes, it is very, very comparable. Now I do want to say off the top, it's an isometric game, and I would say it's probably a little bit easier to implement some of the stuff. Like, for example, a region, I would imagine, I'm not a developer, but I would imagine developing an entirely new region is a little bit easier in an isometric game like that than it is in BDO. But still, that having been said, it's still content, and it doesn't matter how hard it is to develop, it still just feels like content. So there's like like I'm gonna read to you a list of like a TLDR. So they announced 2 new classes. They announced 1 new female version of a class that's already out because they don't have they're gender locked and they're slowly trying to become opposite of that. They announced 2 new regions, one coming out in January, one that's coming out in March. They announced like changes to the economy. They announced changes to balance. They announced new PvP game modes. They want to do a MOBA style like arena for people to go in with their characters and play like what feels kind of like League of Legends. They want to do more PvP arenas. They said all that's going to be out in like the first half of the year. Like the list is like they're moving over to DirectX 11, which I guess they weren't on before, which is supposed to improve FPS by et cetera amounts. And it's just like a huge list. Like there's like 45 bullet points of things that they announced, which is like similar like content like we have announced.
But this is the list that they announced this time around.
This is the list they announced this time around. I mean, it was a similar thing the previous time, but different.
Yeah,
obviously
I'm looking for the amount of things they promised last time, and then how many things they delivered on. Right? Like, what's the breakdown of that percentage?
It was 80. That was the one I told you. A friend of mine like looked into it, and it was 87% of the things that they announced the previous year were actually released.
But what's the total? Because you can say like, oh, they promised 5 things and then did 4 of them. That's 80%.
I get what you're saying. I don't remember the exact number, but it was like 50 things. It was like a huge list. Like it's exactly like our ball. Yeah. Their things are like literally just like ours.
Okay, that's what I was curious about.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
Okay,
that they
so
announced.
it's comparable.
It's comparable. Now again, the only part where I would give it the level of difficulty a little bit higher is the fact that it is isometric versus like, you know, I think the BDO's world is probably harder to expand, but even still, you know.
Disclaimer: we know nothing about game development.
Maybe it's not. Maybe isometric is the challenge, and I don't know. But
disclaimer: we don't know what we're talking about.
And also, BDO has a custom engine that they're working with. I don't know what Lost Ark.
I believe they use Unreal Engine, but I actually don't know. Actually, I don't know why I said that. I don't believe that. I don't know what I believe. I don't know what they use. Actually, I take that back immediately.
We don't know anything.
Know what I believe anything.
People are saying Unreal Engine 3, but I don't know for sure. Probably is Unreal Engine.
I also I'm not positive, but I also believe that they are using Unreal Engine.
Someone said Unreal Engine 3 source. Trust me, bro.
Anyway. But yeah, it's definitely a problem of overpromising and under-delivering, and I think that they do both of those things. In all honesty, I think they both overpromise and they under-deliver. I understand development takes time, but when you look at other MMOs, it for some reason always feels like they're getting like new content so much faster than BDO does. And I'm sure part of that is like translation, but now we have Lost Ark to compare BDO to, and obviously Lost Ark is a brand new game, whereas BDO is like 5-6 years old, however old it is. So there's going to be way more of an interest around Lost Ark, both in the community and in the company itself, putting like funds and manpower into the game. But we now have something that is a direct one-to-one comparison. Essentially, they're both MMOs out of Korea that are being translated and brought to the West. So if this is going to continue, this trend, or it's you can't even call it a trend because it's just one instance, but if this one instance becomes a trend of, oh look, Lost Ark promised a comparable amount of things to BDO and delivered on way more of them, that looks really, really bad for Prilibus, whether they overpromise or not.
Yeah. So one of the things someone said is like, yeah, Lost Ark also got a ton of people. It doesn't mean they're gonna stay. Everyone just wants something new. Doesn't mean they're gonna stay. But the reason why in the beginning of this whole rant I said it's not Lost Ark or it's not New World. It's not. Sorry, did I say Lost Ark? He said New World had a bunch of viewers too. It doesn't mean they're gonna stay. But the reason why I said Lost Ark is not New World or Arcade or any of these other games is because not excluding New World, those other games are re-releases of old games, which is just it's not going to be the same. And B, New World, a lot of people did try. It had a huge like entrance, right? And that's partly because Amazon's a new game studio. They advertised it a lot. They talked about it a lot. It was like a huge addition to like the game world as far as like a new studio developer. And it looked like it had some cool stuff, and then people tried it, and it turned out to not be good. The problem with comparing Lost Ark to that is like we already know people love the game. This isn't this isn't an experiment. It's like it's already people love this game. There are a ton of people that play in NA and EU that just play in the Russian server, the Japanese server, the KR server. It's like people already like the game. It's not like I wonder if people are going to be into this. Like they definitely are. So
you should be comparing Lost Ark, which I know this is going to be hard because there's not a lot of us boomers left out here, but what you should be comparing Lost Ark to is BDO's release in the West. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of people.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah,
though.
but BDO's release was still. Did we know for sure people were going to like BDO in the West? I don't think so.
Well, it was pretty hyped.
They had a
Was
huge
it?
following in the East already.
I missed out on all. I was not there for the launch of it, so I didn't even know it was hyped. I'd never heard of it until I.
It was a fairly hyped up game. It was a fairly hyped up game. It wasn't like, the next WoW or anything, but it was like, hey, there's this MMO, this brand new MMO that's coming over from Korea, and check out this fucking combat, dude. This looks insane. They also have like life skills, and you could do these node war things, and it was like pretty hyped up. And then, it's a very close comparison. I'm not going to say it's one-to-one apples to apples, but it's way more fair to compare Lost Ark to Black Desert Online's bringing over to the West than to compare it to the release of New World.
Yeah, and there's definitely people that won't play because it's isometric. Rezlar being one of them, I think. Right? Like, you're not super into isometric. And that's
I mean, if it's free, I'll try it, and who knows, maybe I'll like it.
It is
but
free,
I'm not big on isometric. I've tried PoE multiple times. I've tried Diablo multiple times. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling this won't be either.
All I'm saying is, every time it's like, oh well, WoW's releasing an expansion, dude. I don't think Pearl Abyss cares that much about WoW expansions, man. The game is 20 years old. I know it's like, oh, they're holding content,
the company
waiting for
is struggling.
WoW. It's like where they're holding content, waiting for Arcade, and it's like, really, they're waiting for the 4th release of Arcade? I don't think they are, man. I really don't. But Lost Ark,
I find it more believable that they're holding it for Arcade than WoW, and Lost Ark over Arcade as well. I think they're threatened more by, again, I don't think they're very threatened by something like WoW expansions or New World or even Ashes of Creation. These are all Western games that I don't think they really care too much about. You can argue maybe they should, because I think aren't we a majority of their profits?
Jesus. The fuck just happened to your mic?
Hello? Am I here?
Yeah, you're okay. It would like screeched for a second.
Sorry
about
that.
Crazy.
But yeah, they're definitely a lot more threatened by something like Lost Ark for sure, or at least at the very least they should be.
Let me explain isometric for chat. I'm really sorry, Werbs. I completely forgot. So isometric games are games where you're playing like a top down point of view. So I'll play I'll play on stream. This is like their new class trailer, but it's top down point of view. Which, by the way, this new class, it actually looks fucking sick. But her weapon is a paintbrush. They're calling her like the artist. But she, it's like a new support class. But yeah, its top-down point of view is isometric.
Think if you guys ever played like Gauntlet back in the days on like the fucking PlayStation 1, like that's isometric, right?
Yeah, it's isometric. And dude, this class's animation actually reminds me a lot of Tamer, like with the ink and stuff. It actually looks really fucking cool. They got like a whale pops out of the ink too. Gigantic killer whale comes out of the black ink. Like it's pretty sick.
Lost Ark copied Black Desert, confirmed. Stealing whales.
Yeah, whales and the Tamer ink. But yeah, it's just like top down. Like this is the isometric view instead of you third person, like where you're just falling behind a player. Anyway, yeah, the name of this game is Lost Ark. It's coming February 11th. Now, I do want to say Lost Ark's not doing everything perfectly. So here are a couple of my complaints. One, Amazon is the publisher, and now I'm worried about that because of New World, which originally I was excited about that, but now I'm a little bit nervous about it. Two, the way they're handling the release of the classes, I think is completely toxic and bullshit. And I understand it's like, well, they want to have content, right? Like this is what everyone tells me. It's like, well, they want to have content released. They want to trickle out classes for content. But so here they had an initial like release of 15 of the classes that they were planning to launch with. And then one of them recently, which is an old class, the Summoner, they took out of it, even though it was in like the 2 betas we were able to play. They took the Summoner out and replaced it with a new class, the Sorceress. And it's like, why take the Summoner out? Like it doesn't make any. It's not a new class. It was like one of the like I'm told it's one of the launch classes or like launched super early on. So they're just taking out a really old class from the launch for no reason, just to launch it later on. And the thing that's annoying about it too is that they have so much content. Like they're already trickling out the different tiers of content, the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 thing where it's like completely different levels of content and raids and dungeons and gear that you even get to. They're already trickle releasing that. And why not? So they have like 20, I think they have 21 classes now. And then in January, they'll have 22. And by March, they'll have 23. And we're going to literally get 15 of the class. Like it doesn't make any sense, dude. It's just fucking weird. I just think it's like I feel like NA it borderline feels how console feels is how I'm gonna feel playing this game, because the game is 3 years old. So it's
well,
like,
I mean,
I don't know. It's just like weird.
Your experience playing Lost Ark launch is going to be the experience of playing Black Desert Online launch. I mean, again, these games are very similar. Black Desert Online did a very similar thing, right? Where it just randomly decided like not to give us specific content. Of course, they blamed it on translation, but nobody actually believed them, right? Everyone was just like, no, they're just holding it because they want to be able to like drop more content, like trickle it out, right? So, I don't know. It's this weird thing Koreans do. They also have this weird thing where games don't start out as pay to win whenever they come to the West, and then they just slowly implement more and more of it as time goes on. So if you think Lost Ark's not pay to win, not for long.
Yeah, the PvE definitely has a bunch of pay to win stuff. Anyway, so yeah, they're not without their issues, and we're gonna be stuck in that. I mean, I guess it depends on how much you play, but I'm sure if you're playing like, you know, all day, every day, you're going to end up getting to the end content, and they haven't released the new stuff that's been out in other servers forever, and you're going to be like, God, I wish they would just release this stuff. And, you know, the same thing that everyone goes through. I just feel like because they're already doing that with the content, why would you also withhold 8 or 6 classes or 7 classes?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, man. And it's just like, and and people keep telling me like, well, they're withholding it because they're reworking it. It's like, okay, so they're reworking the Summoner. They're reworking the Arcana. They're reworking the Lancer. Are they reworking the Lancer? Because I'm pretty sure that's like a relatively new class. They're reworking the Reaper. Are they reworking the Reaper too? Because the Reaper's also not coming out. It's like the list of classes that they're not coming out with are huge, and not all of them are being reworked. So stop telling me that it's because they're being reworked. It's a lie. It's like not why. They're just not releasing it because they do want to do the bullshit content thing. And it's like, you have a lot of content to release, so just give us the content and let us play the goddamn classes. That's all. End of rant. So yeah, they have
so
some
much,
issues.
Frosty.
I do want so much. And then
Untitled Gamer did.
And you know, I'm grateful that with BDO, at least we're with Pearl Abyss, so we can all just focus our blame on Pearl Abyss when stuff doesn't happen. I'm not excited to have to wonder who I'm supposed to blame, Amazon or the developer again. I hate that feeling. Who do I get mad at? I need to channel my anger towards someone. Do I channel it towards Amazon or the developers of Lost Ark?
Yeah, it's always a fun game to play.
It is. It really is. Channel it towards Alpaca. Goddamn alpacas, man.
They get you every
Does
time.
Lost Ark have alpacas?
Dude, here's the thing. Lost Ark does go a little bit further than BDO with the whole KR MMO thing, where they have like,
Oh no, is it Terra?
they got pen in a police truck vibe going on hard.
Oh no.
Yeah, they do. You're like flying around on hoverboards, and your you could dress as like a giant panda with a bamboo stick. It's like they got all that like crazy
Dude,
stuff.
I hope you realize Black Desert Online is going to be that if it is still around in another like 10 years. This snowboard thing, that's the first step. It starts with the snowboard.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Goddamn pandas in a police truck, dude. It's nothing worse than like walking up to someone, like you're sitting there like this badass with a big old sword, and you walk up and there's a dude in a goddamn gummy bear suit with sunglasses on. You know what I mean? And his sword for some reason is a giant flower that squirts water. It's the worst, dude. It's the goddamn
That's what happens.
worst.
Happens to the best of us.
All right. Comments. End of rant. Lost Ark's gonna be fun and good. PA, step it up. First things first. Give us
Desert Online did.
Give us arenas, please. We need them.
Yes.
We need them.
Like if they want to see like the player base actually stick around and whatnot, they need to implement those kinds of
Mina
exciting things.
Mina just brought up a very good point. Who wants to bet the snowboard is never gonna come up?
Oh my god!
Like it's never actually coming out. I could see it.
I actually could see that as well. In all honesty.
Yeah, that's not a bet I'm willing to take because I definitely could see that not coming out.
I kind of hope it doesn't. I know that's probably an anti-fun stance to take, and usually I'm all for adding more fun stuff, even if I don't find it fun. But I don't know. I'd rather them release an actual like new mount than a fucking snow. Why can't we ride a bear? I want a bear. Why can we not have a bear?
Maybe we
It's
can
like not.
ride...
It's like not an elephant. It's not a horse. It's a bear.
Would you be okay with riding a snowplow with sirens on it?
No, I want to ride a bear.
Are you talking
This
about
snow
our
region was the
friend
perfect
bear?
time to let us ride a bear.
Are you talking about our friend bear that used to be in Bloodthirst?
No.
What bear?
Wait, which one? Maybe.
bear bands. Damn it's bear. Damn it's wet. That one.
Oh, okay. Gay bear. No, probably not. He's not my type.
All right.
Maybe if it was scared bear, but not gay bear. No.
All right. You guys ready? Rezlar, can
Yeah.
you read these in my voice? I'm done.
I can read. Them.
All right.
Yes, I can. I just got done grinding my powder at Polly's. Fucking ridiculous that I have to do that.
It's part of the.
What do they do? What do they do to fix this problem that we have right now?
Give you a quest where you get 5 additional ones for doing it and call it a weekly.
Would that fix it, you think?
No. It'd be annoying. I don't
Yeah,
know. I
that's
mean,
what I was thinking.
honestly, the only thing that they need to do is just make Camo more enticing for players to want to go to. And then you
True.
get Spirit Stones. Right now, it's like if you don't need the pot, there's really no reason you're there.
Why don't they just give us more Vel powder for killing Vel?
Yeah, that one does feel a little bit bad, too.
Like, would it be too much to say like killing Vel on average should like fill your Vel up from 0 almost? Would that be too much? I feel like that would be fine.
a lot. But I mean, all
I
they
feel
have
like
to
that
do
would be
is like
fine.
all they have to do is like double it or triple. I mean, honestly, really, all they need to do, like the Vel's powder was fine, honestly, originally, because it used to sit on buy when you could buy the Spirit Stones, but now that you can't, it's not. You know.
Yeah.
So they really just need to buff Camo and make people actually want to go there. I want Manshams to be an endgame spot. I miss that place.
I don't.
You don't miss Man? I love Manshams, dude.
I do not miss Manchoms in the slightest. All right. Sorting by news. Scroll to the bottom. Oh, hold on. Let me get this. Over here. There we go. Alrighty. I should have already hit show and reveal and all that stuff, so should be fine. Alright. Noah Grigo says, been waiting on this. Well, unfortunately, you had another delay in between this one and the previous one, so
Yeah.
hopefully it wasn't.
Dude.
Hopefully, it doesn't feel bad waiting a little bit longer for the next one.
Speaking of delays, by the way, yesterday a car crashed into a power pole near my house and
Yeah.
turned off my power where I live for 7 hours. And then about an hour before my power came back, Rezlar's neighborhood lost power for like another, 5 or 6 hours?
Yeah, like
Jesus.
5.
Like
yeah.
the timing is insane.
Dude.
Yeah. He literally, his power goes out. It's like, okay, well, maybe we'll do it later tonight, or we can just like do it tomorrow if we absolutely have to. It's like, yeah, that's fine. So it just a monsoon takes over here out of nowhere. It's raining cats and dogs. It's so bad you can't even see like 10 feet in front of you. Frosty literally messaged the group chat. He goes like, "Yeah, they're saying the power should be up like in another like hour or so. So you guys think we can maybe start the podcast around like this time?" At like, I'm not kidding. Like maybe 5 minutes after I read that message, like just power goes out. It's like, okay, let's okay, dude.
Yeah.
Ugh, dude. God didn't want this episode to happen. He's a Musa player. Must be.
Yikes.
Lil Pork Chop says, glad to see the boys back this week. Looking forward to Malding. Sure to come with the next Global Labs server update. But before that, the Calpheon ball is upon us. Can't wait to see Wukong's trailer there. Oh no!
Someone's gonna be disappointed.
Oh, I forgot this is from before the ball, huh?
Yeah, this was before the ball, so he was holding out for the Wukong trailer. Oh no!
Rip, poor guy.
Sabotaged by the 51st release of Arcade. Divine Phoenix says, I wish Tamer got some AoE buffs, would be nice for Awakening and some succession skills, but if Tamer wins the new arena, they're going to nerf us even more, even though we're one of the least played classes.
Well, we'll see. It depends, though. Because you're one of the least played classes, you're not going to be, like, filling up the top. If it became, like, a super popular class, then I could see that. But if, like, one dude gets up there, then probably not, or if
Probably,
two.
yeah.
Yeah, it just depends.
Plus, I do think that Tamer is probably one of, if not the best 1v1 class in the game, but that's not to say that other classes can't beat it.
Yeah, and after the rework, I think some of the other classes are going to become more competitive, too.
Yeah. Genesis says they're also fucking up Sage's passives too. They're saying we're gaining 5% cast speed for 5% accuracy loss. Problem is we have 10% on live now, but notes say it's 5%. Were they intending to nerf 5% accuracy and give us 5% cast speed for a total of 15%? Awakened Mystic damage has been trashed for a while too. I don't get some of the changes to a class that was never super damaging to begin with. Edit. Actually thinking about it now more clearly and looking at tournament numbers of participants per class and compared to rounds 1, several of the change numbers are from several classes that were placed in the top. I wonder if they took this to heart and updated reworks accordingly for some.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, they kind of nerfed a bunch of damage, like, leading into the end, right? Like, Zerker got a bunch of damage nerfs. Even Kuno's spin. I mean, Kuno wasn't even in that tournament. There was, like, what, one Awakened Kuno, maybe? And their damage got nerfed. So, I don't know. I think that was just the notes that he's referring to that were on KR. I don't think there was any, like, intention behind it, except they just mislabeled the notes. You're keeping the 10% cast speed you always had, and they lowered the accuracy to 5%.
Let's be honest. The notes aren't exactly. Their history with the notes, they're not exactly sacred.
Yeah, they've not been great.
Yeah, they're never great. Monarch Gaming says they should make Infinite Mastery and Skilled Hunter infinite passives. Since we were joking about the 1% special attack passive becoming a 1% every level past 63 Divioses, like get 50 HP, 3 monster damage every level past 61 or whatever the current passive ends at. And yeah, if we're getting anything before year's end, it will be new season, new class, new region, at least in KR. Got to get those Q4 profits before the new year. No chance they miss out unless they really put all production on hold for class reworks, but I doubt they did. Level designers, artists, and such could have just continued working on new content while Balance Team did the reworks. We will see on the 11th.
It is so... I love this. This is the best comment section ever because we already know the announcements.
Yeah.
And it's sat with us for a while, so we know, like, everything, and been able to think about it. So it's interesting to see some of this stuff. But he was mostly right, though, with his prediction. It's like, this no class.
The class was off. That was the main thing.
But new season we got, the reworks are getting released, and then the new region for KR specifically.
And the new profits for PA.
And the new profits for PA.
And the new profits. The Awkward Ninja says, you talked about this in the podcast, I just had to say it too. This patch was wild. They nerfed all the Suck Zerker PvP damages, but didn't document any of the 5 or 6 skills the PV damage got nerfed on relative to last week. Example, Beastly Wind Slash PvP damage from 55.6 and 44.6 on the first and second parts up to 75% on all parts, but the PvE numbers were only increased by 15%. Was the most egregious, but they also nerfed Fierce Strike by about 15%. FD got undocumented buff, Predatory Hunt nerfed by 40%. They also added 2 new skills, changed Beast Mode, Beastly Wind Slash to Beast Mode Weakling Hunt. Unfortunately, Suck Weakling Hunt doesn't really do any damage, but they still need to look at, and the skill is still really clunky. The spec needs like 3 more weeks on Global Lab at the rate. They have been cooking the spec. Best combo damage skill is now Tackling Rock, not Falling Rock. The tackle that is a mobility and catching skill has the most PvP damage on a CC target. Yeah, that doesn't sound good. They should probably fix that. And they renamed the new Zerker Awakening skill and added a new damage breakdown to it, which made it hit harder in PvP on a spec that does enough damage to kill 3 Divios per CC. They gave us the accuracy back in trade for the crit, which is fine. I guess I would have liked to stick with our original crit plus accuracy, but accuracy plus DR is better than crit and DR. Overall, I'm hoping they give Suckzerker a bit more damage plus AoE since it's really lackluster compared to what other improvements of other classes have gotten. Awakening Zerker is still cool though.
I wonder when he first edited this, because he didn't mention like the seismic changes, so it must be a few days
He
ago.
says he's in my chat right now, and he says they nerfed the damage since this comment. I didn't edit it.
Yeah, because like some of the damage is like better than live, and then some is worse. I mean, obviously the new skill or the new Titan Blow is kind of nuts, and then the 2 new skill or seismic blast, and then the other new skill are kind of like the same now.
Yeah.
They're just like quick burst damage that's not insane anymore. And then but Slugfest apparently hits really hard. Devastation still hits harder than live, although not crazy like it was when that one clip we watched where it was like Carson's nightmare.
Yeah.
Scattershot,
that's what it's called.
Yeah, Scattershot, the new Ranger skill.
Scattershot, the new Ranger skill. Which is funny because it's melee, but
Divios ascended to metric hood. He's now a metric. True.
I feel bad for Suckzerkers. Is Danny still alive? Has anyone checked on Danny lately?
He's not happy, dude. I avoid him at all costs. The anger it's a lot.
Really?
He's very unhappy.
Oh man, that sucks. That sucks because he was actually pretty happy whenever it first came out, and he was saying that he saw a lot of potential, and it's like it's just gone downhill ever since.
Mm-hmm.
That's depressing.
And you don't really like. I don't know if Suckzerker was good. Would you play it over Awakening? Like, let's say if they were similar, or do you think you're more of an Awakening dude?
If Suckzerker was as good in PvP as Awakening is, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which one would I play?
Yeah,
I'd probably still play Awakening in all honesty, but I think that's more because I've just played it for so long. I'm just resistant to go play Suck. When Suck came out and it was like distinctly far superior in PvE. This was before they added Seismic to Awakening.
right.
I still refused to go grind on Suck because I was like, I don't want to play that. I want my hand cannon. And it took like a really long time for me to start PvEing on Succession. And then they just went and made Awakening better, which tilted me a little bit at first, but that's fine. But yeah, I don't know. I'd probably still play Awakening in all honesty, but I don't even get the option because Succession Zerker is dog shit in PvP. Or at least in large scale, which is what most of my PvP is, so.
Yeah.
Moist Meatloaf says, I bet PvP Arena will go live either just before or just after Lost Ark goes live in NA. So around March 2022.
Yeah, February 11th.
Actually, a pretty safe bet.
February 11th now. I would love if Arenas come out on or around February 11th, or even sooner would be great.
I think that's a pretty safe bet. I think that's I said this when we were streaming, when we were watching the ball. I think the whole reason they split this ball into 2 parts, which is something they've never done before, is because they had nothing ready for this ball. So they said, fuck, let's just change it and say that this is announcement ball and the next ball is release ball.
Yeah.
So they had like the one thing done, which was reworks. That was it. That's the only thing they had done for this ball. So they're like, "Well, release that." But then everything else, we have to start. We have to pump this shit out for the next ball. I think that's why they split it up into 2. We love peace 1348 says, "Damn, watching the Awakened Sork and Lawn animation, seeing Awakened Kuno got shit for new animations is depressing."
Dude, it is. Again, it's not a balance complaint. It has nothing to do with balance at all. It's just visually speaking, one of the cool things about the reworks that I was so excited for is like, dude, I saw they showed us Warrior and they got the cool new animation. Like the slashing animation is fucking cool. right? It's like, oh my god, that animation is cool. The new Pulverize and Flow Tempest look really cool. The new Ranger skill looks badass. The extra flare they added to like Waltz looks really cool. And I was just like, dude, this looks cool. And then I saw Striker and he was even more dramatic. And I was like, dude.
I know this would probably be hard to tell if you don't play the class, but they've actually touched up the explosion animations for a lot of Zerker's abilities.
Yeah, no, Zerker has some cool looking new animations too. And Sork too, like Violation, Turnback, Dream of Doom all look epic as fuck now. So I was like, and some of the classes got more subtle animations, but it was like, I don't think a single animation changed on Kuno except for the way the character moves during Moonstorm. That's it. And I was just like, why didn't we get like some fancy sparks or something added like that? Like, even if nothing changed on the skills, it would have been like, hell yeah. Yeah, Suck Musa got new animations too. Suck Musa got actually a couple of new animations.
Yeah, so when I saw Suck Musa in the trailer, I was like, oh,
Stop
damn,
adding
this thing
sparks.
looking flashy as hell.
Well, I'm using the word sparks for lack of a better word, but like the way, like Sork literally got lightning added to Turnback and Violation. Like they just were like, you know what? Let's just add lightning in here. I want lightning. Give me some fucking lightning in my spin spree.
I want lightning. I desynced says, as a Suck Valk, I'm kind of just happy they didn't completely nerf us. Few PvE damage increases and improved pool skill is alright. I'd perfectly be happy giving all of the buffs up just for them to revert the Heaven's Echo nerf.
Yeah. Are they referring to the accuracy from back in the day? They're talking about Suck, right? As Suck Valk, happy doing it. Yeah. Well, I mean, now it's like, now they can't, right? I mean, it's weird. Well, I'm thinking about it. It's like, okay, so let's say they did revert that nerf. Then it makes you really wonder about Hash, because Valk, while they lost their 15% accuracy buff for 60 seconds, like at least their skills have modifiers. Like if you look at like some of the Suck Valk skills that they use, like there's at least some modifiers on there, so it's not zero. Like Judgment of Light is 15%, Prime Shining Dash is 15%. Like just as like an example, like Divine Power is 15%. Like they have some modifiers on their skills. Glaring Slash is 12. Like there's 0 on Hash, and they lost their accuracy, and so it's like I don't know. It's like it's interesting. They're kind of in the same boat now, like Hash and Valk as far as accuracy, because Hash can get it up to what those skill modifiers are, but they have to use the buffs, and then Valk just only has the modifiers. That all being said, Awaken Hash about to be so much fun, dude. I can't wait. All right, next comment. This one's exciting.
Well, I've been informed you don't PvP on Awaken Hash, or at the very least, you don't know how to PvP on Awaken Hash.
That's true. I only do nothing on it, basically.
Yeah, you just PvE all day. That's what you do. The Musassin says, when Frosty said Sucklon PvE got buff, and he wonders why I was raging hard about the nerfs that Musa Awakening got for PvE. Edit, when Divios said he's one-shotting packs in underwater. Frosty, I'm giving you the side eyes in regards to Fiery Crevice PvE nerf.
Yeah, well, again, because you didn't get nerfed in PvE, you got buffed in PvE. You were saying you got nerfed compared to live. That's why you were raging about being nerfed compared to live, and you weren't. So that's side-eye me all you want, but you didn't get nerfed compared to live.
Fair enough.
And I don't know. I mean,
Poro.
I watched the Striker video. While it does look fast, no one was one-shotting Paxton underwater. So I have to see what Divios is doing when it comes to live, because the KR grind videos, none of them are just one-shotting a pack with a skill.
Well, to be fair, those KR players are not metrics.
That's true.
They're not a unit of measurement. Pirate Poro says, PA talks about balancing PvE and removes DK PvE crit, but buffs Sucklon PvE at the same time. Also, they put huge PvP damage modifiers on Suck Zerk and removes Fierce Strike on Suck Zerk. Why are they doing Danny dirty like that?
Poor Danny, dude. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, the Sucklon PvE buff was an interesting decision.
It's weird, man. It's fucking weird. And that's the thing too. It's like I don't understand the Sucklon PvE buffs either. It's not making me complain about my own class though, but I don't understand the buffs. So
Lincoln Johnson says, I am surprised you guys didn't spend more time on Suck Guardian changes. Those damage increases are rather significant, and it seems that all their prime skills got buffed. This will help a lot in PvE, which was her main downfall.
yeah, I think that's one of the cool things about Hash and Guardian specifically that I think is really cool. Even though they didn't get like full reworks like everyone else, their PvE got buffed for both of them, and Guardian Awakening as well got some PvE buffs, got Incinerator and PvP buffs. So it's like they get to like go into the rework day not feeling like if they got nothing, even if they're good, if you get nothing, it like kind of feel a little bit jealous because those classes aren't that new anymore, you know? So it's cool that they got some stuff.
For sure. Draga 3888 says, I was extremely excited for the DK changes, and they just murdered it. It hurt my soul. Hopefully they will fix it.
Really? They really feel that bad?
I'm wondering, he must be talking about Suck PvE.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I thought their damage was still really good.
No, that's the only thing they murdered is Succession PvE. But I think that is what he's referring to.
Yeah.
In that case,
MD Space Tube account. What are with these channel names today? When do these reworks come out that you discussed? I main a Guardian. I'm very eager for the God Incinerator buff. 3 days.
3 days.
Well, 2 days from when this is posted.
Yeah,
Presuming that I get this up tomorrow.
December 22nd.
December 22nd. Very, 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 very soon. Fitzgood says, I'm very certain they had the intern write up the full changes, so I'm not surprised they have errors. Yeah, they probably did pay some underpaid intern. They were like, hey, we're too busy developing, ? Snowboards and ice fishing, so go write up all the changes.
Someone, I forgot we haven't had a podcast for a minute. Have we talked about last week or last podcast? Did we talk about the Nova nerfs or the Corsair nerfs, the PvP nerfs?
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna break it down real quick. Let's break it down before we do the rest of these comments.
Break it down.
So Awaken Nova, Excel no longer gives them 10 seconds of super armor. That 10 seconds of super armor has been moved to their e-buff. So instead of every 1 minute, they get it every 3. They also changed their e-buff to only give them back 25% Star's Breath instead of 50%. So it potentially takes a little bit longer to get Excel mode. So those are the Nova PvP buffs. Your guys' thoughts on
Nerfs.
those nerfs? Your thoughts on those changes?
It sounds like a dead class to me.
Yeah.
Everyone start re-rolling.
No. I like that people think that Nova's not good when it's not in Excel. What about you, Nashi? Your thoughts on those changes?
I mean, I think they're fine. I don't see the problem with them.
Yeah.
Like, in all honesty.
And then for Corsair, Suck Corsair, all of their Mareka skills, like the skills with the whale or where she goes underwater or whatever, none of them have iframe at the start of them anymore. So Whale Song has no iframe whatsoever. Spiral Soak only has iframe, or it doesn't have iframe until she goes completely underwater. So during the backflip is super armor now instead of iframe. Jetstream, same thing, super armor when she jumps in the air. You don't get iframe until you're completely underwater. The Rabomb also is super armor at the start of the skill now instead of iframe. And they made it so the block regeneration debuff that prevents your block from recovering for 15 seconds has been lowered down to 8 seconds. Your guys' thoughts on those changes?
I think those are good changes. The perma protection of that class is just way too much. So any attempt to try and bring that down is a good change. Probably needs more.
Oh yeah, they also, I forgot, Nova, on Awaken Nova, you have to choose which e-buff you want. You can only use either the pre-Awaken e-buff or the Awaken e-buff. You can't spec both anymore. The pre-Awaken e-buff gave them a bunch of DR. It's like a bunch of DR for a period of time, which I think is also fine.
Yeah, probably. They don't need to.
Yeah. Now, both of those classes, Nova and Corsair, got PvE buffs. And the Nova one is surprising to me because there's another thing where I'm just like completely flabbergasted, Reslar. I'm just completely
just
confused.
Aghast.
I'm just literally jaw dropped because in their fucking note, where they said we want to buff all these classes to come up to Nova and Sage level. Those were their 2 references. And then they buffed Awaken Nova. So I'm like,
Well, you should
hello?
be excited then.
No, it's super weird. Why would
No,
I
you
be
should
excited?
be excited. Because that means that everybody else is going to get buffs too, right?
Yeah. hmm Anyway, it's really confusing. That was very confusing to me. I just think like my like TLDR for the Nova thing is that 10 seconds of super armor was, in my opinion, was toxic. It just is like I'm not a fan of this whole like you just have blanket super armor for like a long duration of time. And because Excel you can get it up fairly often, it's like having no recourse to someone coming in that's able to do that much damage to you, I'm not a fan of. And then with Suck Corsair specifically, I think them not having that many on-demand iframes is actually huge, because I think those changes seem small, because it's like it's not like they removed the iframe and gave them nothing. Like they still have super armor during the start of all those skills, but if someone, for example, like Mystic and Striker now have grapple penetration, Zerker has grapple pen, and so does Warrior. All 4 of those classes now will be able to peel for their team in whatever 3v3 large-scale group fights. If they go for a grab on a Corsair, it's probably going to land. They're not going to be an iframe during those times. Also, slow debuffs, DP debuffs, like damage that got thrown out that just gets instantly iframe now, they're actually going to take some damage. So,
Right.
I don't know. It's just, those things are kind of, I think, necessary. We'll see. And I actually like that it wasn't, oh, by the way, we went through and nerfed Nova's damage across the board on 5 skills, also removed the Excel, and also did, you know what I mean? Like they kind of have done in the past.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know, a little bit more subtle while still being impactful.
Yeah, no, I agree. And especially like the whole 15-second super armor thing. I maybe I'm just salty because I played Warrior back in the day, and they decided that we couldn't use that. So why do Novas get that? Why do Novas get the thing you removed from Warriors because it was too busted? It's never made sense to me. I don't even think it should be on their e-buff, honestly. I don't think that should be a mechanic in general. But at least it's better on the e-buff than on Excel.
Yeah.
So fuck, where were we? Oh, Bloodwolf. Bloodwolf says, yes, V sniffing is bad, but you shouldn't exit an iframe UV because you put yourself in a bad situation, so you should be at a disadvantage. You would have died without the V anyways. V gives you a small option to get back in the fight, but you shouldn't be able to exit V ready to fight or in iframe. I disagree with that. I think you shouldn't be ready to fight. Like the glitch back in the day where you could just be out of V with your weapons already out to like instant grab people. Obviously that shouldn't be a thing. But I think it's fine how it is now, in all honesty, where there's a small animation of like, second and a half maybe animation where you're in iframe for it. Because if you're a good player, then you should be able to time a CC right when that animation ends, right? And if they're a good player, the person being, then they should be able to pop a protection right as they get out of it. So it just comes down to who's the better or worse player. I think it's fine how it is. Although I'm gonna say this until either the day I die or the day that they fucking change it. I do not understand why you cannot V in certain situations. That will
agreed.
boggle my fucking mind to the end of eternity. Why can I not V at any point in time, no matter the circumstances? It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I think yeah, I agree. I mean, one of the arguments that I heard someone make is like, well, it's actually skillful for things like AoE and stuff, where if you can land like stiff to prevent your opponent from Ving, is it like a skillful play? But it's like, except for the 15 classes that can't do that.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
don't
really.
have skills that do that back to back.
Yeah, if every class had the same capacity to like use that as an actual mechanic, then
Right.
I would be more fine with it. I don't know if I still don't think I would like it, but I would be like, well, at least you could say it's balanced. But in its current state, I both don't like it, like conceptually, and also it's incredibly unbalanced. So please fix that.
Well,
Also, it's not fun getting just fucked by wizards in large scale.
The V-sniffing thing, I'm glad is removed. I do kind of wish you moved. So you remember the old distance when it was extended?
Yeah.
Like, I wish it was somewhere in between where that is and where it is now. Like, where you could go slightly further than now, but not quite as far as before. And then I'd be pretty happy with it.
I think it's fine. I think it's fine where it is. They just need to make it to where you can be in any situation whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I think that would be fine.
We do.
Also, maybe lower the cooldown to like 3 minutes instead of 5.
No, fuck that. So the problem with or I forgot, there was a bunch of stuff. I keep forgetting. Like, the other thing that changed that I completely forgot about because it's been 2 weeks is they actually put a legitimate cap on slows now.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So you cannot be slowed past 50%.
They supposedly fixed it how it should have been all along.
Yeah, how it should have been. So no matter what attack speed
from our
buffs,
view, fixed it.
Yeah, no matter what attack speed buffs you have up, if you get slowed, you cannot be slowed by more than 50%. So if you have, for example, if your character's base attack speed is 100% and you have enough buffs up that you're at 180% and someone does a 50% slow on you, you're going to be brought down to 130%. If someone does a 90% slow on you, you're still only going to be brought down to 130%.
Yep.
Which I think is for the best. 50% to me still sounds super high, but at least it's not 90%.
Very true. Very, very true.
Yeah, I'm sure more stuff will come up, but go on. I think we're done.
Sugua says, hot take, podcast is goated. See you next week. Unfortunately, you did not. You saw us the week after next. Our bad. The Spoon Elite says, Unbridled is such a boring skill. Move damage onto Wave Orb, please. Frosty, do you concur?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how most Maywas feel, but... Or Maywas, Mystics.
We feel... a certain way about it,
I don't know how most Mystics feel, but me personally, as someone who prefers water animations than dust, I would much prefer the damage be on Wave Orb because Wave Orb's just a cooler skill. Now, the problem is if all you did is just transfer the damage from Unbridled to Wave Orb, it would be a nerf just because Wave Orb's cooldown is way longer. And so you wouldn't have access to it as much, but... Yeah, I don't know. Wave Orb and Sea Burial, in my opinion, should hit hard. Those should be two hard-hitting skills. Maybe the rest of the kit can be like mediocre or low damage, but those two skills should hit hard, in my opinion.
Fair enough. Alucard says, it's like people in the BA... Wait. It's like people in the battle arena. People go there all the time, and that literally has no rewards. And you know what would be funny if they do ranked 1v1s, and there's a shy ranked in the top 5. That would be funny. I don't think it's possible. Also, why are sages complaining about accuracy? They literally have, if I'm correct, an 18% accuracy self-buff. Is that true?
The Succession does, but here's the thing. I guess technically Pre-Awaken does too. It's like a little bit less. I think it's 15% or something. I have to look at the skill. But that isn't the reason why they shouldn't be complaining about accuracy, because that buff is, to be honest, not realistic to have up most of the time because it's like a 10-second buff on a slow skill that's unprotected. But they have so much accuracy elsewhere. They have decent accuracy modifiers on all their skills, and they still do have accuracy in their passive. Like that, it didn't get removed; it just got lowered. And then Awakening has a 9% accuracy buff as well. Succession has an 18% evasion debuff. So it's just like, I don't know. They're fine. Their accuracy is fine.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be complaining, but I don't think Shift F in Pre-Awakening is Shift L and B in Pre-Awakening is why they shouldn't be complaining.
NXC_BC says 1v1, 2v2, 3v3 solo queue and registered team options in a quality arena or set of arena maps that doesn't have semi-broken mouse movement and doesn't have the ground that you can get vacuumed underneath. Please and thank you. Smash stuff, Divios, please. No crazy items, please. I like that they just randomly include semi-broken mouse movement. What does that mean?
I think they're just...
What is semi-broken mouse movement?
I think they're saying mouse movement is imbalanced and not fair.
Yeah. That's what it seems like to me too, but then it's so out of place. Is the mouse movement wonky in AoA or something? Because Because that's kind of what that seems to be implying.
Oh, if he's referring to the AoE stuff, then yes. So mouse movement. Well, I've gotten like different opinions from different people, but there's like areas of AoE where mouse movement doesn't work properly. For example, like some of the slopes, it's like when you try to mouse move on it, you don't go. Like I remember when I was doing the 2v2 with that charity 2v2 with Danny Destroyer, who was complaining about it a bunch. Yeah, mouse movement is very like awkward or inconsistent in AoE for some reason. I don't know the exact reason. I haven't looked into it, but yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So
Divio says it's
please.
figured out the UI is a cover over the top. So technically you're like mouse clicking on UI. That's why you can't move anywhere near the UI.
Oh my god, no, are you serious? Why would they do it like that?
Because they're gods.
Air Elentia says, I'm surprised Divios felt that Awakened Valk in 1v1 was better. Amu and the Valks I've talked to seem, I think that's supposed to be pretty gutted, as am I, about the current state of class and 1v1 on G-Labs. Although if they allow us to lock the skill on LMB during block, it'll be a bit better. I wonder if the playstyle will just change.
Yeah, the playstyle has definitely changed. Gutted is
a word.
Such a strong word, man. Like
it's a word.
We just grossly misuse that word now. I don't know. I hate that word. I'm like over that word.
Yeah. Daz says, crazy idea, remove the block gauge and make block consume stamina only. That is a crazy idea.
That is a crazy idea.
I don't think I like it. I don't think I like it.
Dude, just imagine a Guardian, every time they press Q and someone hits their block, they just lose 15% of their stamina. They would not be able to move. Oh my god, dude.
Shax says, or sorry, I skipped one. Black Pete says, Terra early on had gear rewards. That was the gear rewards, I think. That was the best weapon and armor for PvP. In the game, you got them by having specific MMR and rank. Kind of broken, I remember, because the Greatsword was sexy as fuck, and I wanted that badly. And then I'm assuming this video is a link to the weapon. Frosty, you played Terra. Is this true?
Oh, Noodle Ming is talking about how it's around the, let's see, it's not the slopes, it's the bottom 30%, top 30% of the screen that works, and it's like around the health bar UI too.
This is referring to mouse movement in AoE?
Yeah. I wonder why that is.
Weird.
Why it doesn't work just similarly to outside of AoE. It's very dumb.
Yeah, that's strange.
Sad. Just sad. Well, luckily for Noodle Ming, he could just sit in the back, shoot his cannon.
Yep, very true, very true.
Kidding.
Frosty, did you get the best weapon and armor in the game from
in Terra?
PvP in Terra?
I don't even remember MMR being in Terra. I played mostly Battlegrounds, and the 3v3 was like a fucking crapshoot. I was mostly against bots, so no.
Shax says, honestly, wish resistances were the same as if you built accuracy or evasion, so there are more gear/crystal builds. Imagine if you go all in 100% resistances, but due to it you sacrifice having uber high accuracy or evasion, but people also can build 100% anti-resistances. Want to see stuff like high evasion plus high resist builds, but there's also high accuracy plus high anti-resistance builds, which will perfectly counter. TLDR, one of rock, paper, scissors builds in BDO where there's no perfect build, you always have a build that will perfectly counter you. Thoughts?
Yeah.
Not really.
I'm also kind of hesitant, I think.
Well, I mean, it's
trying
kind
to think about
of what's going to happen with the artifacts, I guess, because they're going to allow you to put resistances in, which means people are going to be able to get close to 80% all resists, but people that don't want to deal with that are also going to be able to ignore all resists, like 75 to 80%. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Like for me, I just don't like resist, and I kind of, at least the way it looks, I'm excited with the artifacts because like I was looking at my specific build, and I'll literally be able to be 79% ignore all resists, which means even if someone is fully e-buffed and everything, they're only going to have 1% all resist, which I'm totally fine with.
I just hate that. I fucking hate resist. I hate everything about them.
Same.
I really just wish, like, the more and more that time goes on and people try to figure out potential solutions to resistances and he is introducing all these new things, the more I'm like, dude, I'm sorry for all the Guardians out there that feel like they have to rely on the RNG chance of resisting a CC because you don't have enough protections, ? But resistances should just be removed from PvP. Like, I just don't. I kind of understand maybe you want them in PvE, like, sure, I get that. They don't. I just don't feel like they belong in PvP. I really don't. And I hate that we have to build in a specific way. It's really frustrating.
For the most part, yeah.
Valk Lives Matter says, as a person who has only played one class since I started playing this game, I've never been so excited for the changes coming to Valk. I recently and reluctantly tested out the rework on Global Labs, haven't had that much fun in a long time, but I'm now sad I have to wait 11 more days to have fun like that again on live servers. One thing I am terrified of is the block changes. Coming from experience fighting Corsair is somewhat impossible for my class due to block regen debuff bullshit and their increased grab resistance. To my horror, they fully intend on implementing a global Corsair debuff, sad face. Although it's 1v1 in 1v1s, it may not be that impactful and maybe even more fun to try and manage block more intelligently. I can just see the shit show Node War is bound to be on for all block classes. Love you guys. Thanks for the content. And then puts hashtag Blackstar offhand, hashtag rip my Lamber feeties, hashtag Valk Lives Matter.
Dude, rip my Lamber feeties is talking about Echo Walk. I think he just added that. That's hilarious. Because that change was, I think we knew about that change on the KR release on Wednesday, so that's hilarious. Rip my Lamber feeties.
Solomon says, oh, did either of you have a comment on that?
No, I'm also concerned about the block changes, but we'll see how it plays out. I don't know. If there's fewer Corsairs in the world, I think it won't feel too bad. But if the Corsair meta remains, it's going to be a major problem. But we'll see. Who knows? They did buff Valk and a Warrior block, so it's more durable. So we'll see what ends up happening with that.
Solomon says, I don't know, this Calpheon ball was such a disappointment for me. The whole ball was unnecessarily drawn out for no reason. It was tedious. Snow Region and the fact that Shy can now ride Alpaca is pretty awesome. I at least expected a class showcase plus short dev talk about every reboot, but they didn't even mention reboots. Literally the main thing they've been working hard for the last few months. All we got is, quote, Korea gets it first. We're working on this, but also not because of reboots. Insert your question, we're looking into it, or no.
I think it's interesting that that he was disappointed, but he was excited by the alpaca. I think that's so weird. Like to say like I'm not in disagreements with being a little bit disappointed, but I just think it's funny that it's like, yeah, I was pretty disappointed, but God, thank God they added alpacas for the shies.
Yeah.
I'm just disappointed that they didn't add alpacas for everybody. What's this shy? What's this non-shy discrimination shit? What if I want to ride an alpaca, dude? The fuck? Swee says, after listening Bear and Armor Tap (pin) having a discussion about who should be replacing Rezlar in Frosty's stream, I suddenly realized how much I don't want Rezlar to be replaced, even though at times I want to strangle him over Nyashi's dead body. He is he is definitely a core part of the show and a Dark Knight that we need. I'm not a Dark Knight. What? Okay, figuratively. He provides an alternative thinking to the show. Best intro ever, Nyashi. GG, job well done, you sir. Frosty, you trying to replace me, dude?
Over Nyashi's dead body. No, my friends just get mad, you know. You know how they are.
It's interesting comment.
I see how it is. I like the implication that this person's going to murder Nyashi before he strangles me.
Yeah. It is.
Yuminadai says, I've been really busy this semester, so all I do is barter AFK cooking while I'm at school or working. I don't have time to watch any stream anymore. Most of the time I leave a message in Frosty's stream and leave, but no matter what, I never miss an episode in Castbox. The funny part is that I only listen to the episode while I'm on the train, which takes 3 to 4 days because I'm done And by the time I finish, it takes 1 to 2 days for the next episode to come out and repeat the cycle. Today I had some time, so I watched Frosty's Calpheon Ball VOD, and the amount of potential memes was hilarious. To my understanding, you have to submit your questions beforehand, but that alpaca question took the cake. That alpaca question did take the cake.
That alpaca question, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah. The ball was very fun. I actually was thinking about, whenever we decided to skip last week, trying to very quickly make a highlights video of the stream, but I just didn't think I had enough time. And I was still working on school stuff at that time, unfortunately. Minaria says, for why multi, in parentheses, and most other DKs became depressed, they didn't just nerf 4 of our core PvE skills in succession, they nerfed 5. They had given Prime... I like the idea that, like, at 4 nerfs, they were like, this is fine, but then the 5th one is like the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
They had given Prime Enforcement 2 extra hits in the patch before and removed it this patch again, parentheses, which was actual one-shot potential, so I understand the nerf, but why also remove it in PvE? The buff to that skill was one of the primary reasons why our PvE improved, because the skill with the super low cooldown and critical damage was suddenly available. Damage is still good, but 2/3 of what it could have been, parentheses, if you include air attacks, which is just ... and then I don't know if there's more. I don't see an option.
Which is super depressing to think about. I like your analogy of shooting the present.
I don't have the ability to read more. I don't know what's going on. YouTube does this weird thing sometimes where it just doesn't let you read more.
I've had that as well.
Frosty, is Dark Knight's PvE really that bad?
Well, I actually think that Suck Dark Knight's PvE is going to be... The DKs are going to hate me for saying this, but slightly better than it is on live. However, it's not... I don't think it's going to be... At least unless someone proves me wrong, I don't think it's going to be competitive with the other classes. Again, Wheel losing its crit that it's had forever makes 0 sense. Twilight, I guess Prime Twilight got a damage buff but the crit got nerfed, so that one is... I don't know. It's just... No, they just took it too far. Like, maybe if they removed it from one ability, it would be like, oh, okay, I get that. Like, maybe because they felt a little bit worried about it, but it's just weird that they did it to a bunch of classes.
Mina says that's what we're saying too. Slightly better, but nothing compared to what we were promised.
Yeah, and all right, well, I don't like the word promise, but also, well, I guess it is kind of promise. Well, it wasn't like a promise per se, but they did say they're going to bring it up to Nova level, and nerfing all the crit on that stuff is not bringing it up to Nova level.
And then they nerf DK and buff Nova.
Yeah, so it's like, why? I don't know, man. Dude, I've been saying for a while, like, I would put the crit back on everything they took it off of, and then I would probably even go one further and put a little bit of PvE crit on Corrupted Ground and lower the cooldown to 10 seconds. But that's just me. I don't know. I just don't understand. It's just weird to me. I would be tilted if I was a DK too. And
yeah.
Now I think that Awakened Kuno might end up being in the same boat because they literally only buffed Spin Spree's damage. But we'll see. But I'm a little bit more optimistic point of view, so I'm thinking someone might be able to show that it could do really well because the class is just faster as a whole, but we'll see.
Matthias War says, why make gains? Everything is capped. Can just sit around in town and queues and do sieges.
Yeah, they could. Unless they want to participate in the parts of the game that aren't capped. PvE, open world PvP, GVGs.
Which I think is a good thing.
And a bunch of the uncapped Node Wars and the uncapped Siege.
I think it's a good thing that people, if they really wanted to, like, they can just not participate in the uncapped content. And there's actually a fair amount of capped content that they could participate in if they want to. I think that would be good. Miss Ghouls says, I only ask for better PvE for DK and Mystic. Awakening Witch will probably be fine, just defenseless in PvP. Defenseless in PvP?
What?
Defense fucking lists in PvP.
The hyperbole that I have to deal with all day. What is this? How is Awaken... What? My God, dude.
Don't argue with it,
Defenseless in PvP.
I'm gonna start saying that shit about Kuno.
Defenseless. I can't get over it.
I just got done fighting Reezy. Yeah, that shit ain't defenseless.
On
Actually, don't lie to
which
us. You're
spec
playing
was he
League of
on?
Legends right now. I see
Awakening.
you.
Oh, okay. No, we're defenseless. I mean, they're
Actually,
saying
I see you playing League of
also
Legends.
I also got
That
done
was
fighting.
from fighting him earlier.
I also got done fighting Illyri Dustmans the other day, and the shit he's able to do, but they're still saying defenseless, so it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. If you think Witch is defenseless, I guess on live there's more of an argument that it's defenseless than Reworks. But you're talking specifically about Reworks. In Reworks, Witch is anything but defenseless. And it's not just the Witch changes that make that true. It's also the fact that grab attempts are unprotected. Do you realize how big this is for Awakened Witch that can like pretty much permanently stay in some form of protection while constantly throwing out CCs? That's huge. That's so big. Like as a Zerker, I can no longer just walk up and grab a Witch while they're in Voltaic. Like it's literally a free kill right now on live because they go for Voltaic and I just grab them and it's irrelevant. I
Yeah.
can't do that anymore, or at least I have to be way more careful if I want to try something like that.
And
Right?
a lot of classes, once they fail the grab and you recognize it, now the Witch knows they can be hyper aggressive with their protected skills.
Yep.
Which is actually like one of the things I wanted to mention. So here, I'm gonna pull this up on screen because Divio's put an area of the grab box that. Oh, okay. So it's everything in there inside the red box that is not mouse movable. So you have to do it like below or above. Am I understanding that right? Oh God, yeah. So that's why people say it's janky. Res, I don't know if you can see this screenshot. Here, I'll post it.
Let me
in
turn
the,
on your stream.
I'll post it in the group chat. It's just an image.
Oh no, I see it. Yeah.
So
Wait, so
everything
you have
inside
to...
the red box, mouse move doesn't work because of the AOA interface.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's not because they don't want it or it's banned. It's like literally this interface is technically all clickable.
This company sometimes, man.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So there's that. Sorry, what were we talking? What was the?
Defenseless.
Oh, the defenseless thing. Yeah, I don't know. It's just the hyperbole on some of the stuff is crazy.
But don't forget also that now that you can't be mega slow stacked into oblivion anymore. Now witches and wizards are bad at 1v1s.
No, I wanted to mention. So I was fighting Hunter on Global Labs, and dude, when they fail a grab, that 15 seconds of just pure heavenly bliss where they can't grab you again. That used to only be, I would argue, 6 seconds. Now it's, I guess, like 14 if you count the animation. Oh my, dude, I didn't think it was going to feel that good, but like, oh my God, it felt that good. It was like,
it's a long time.
Dude, it was I was like, wait, I can actually linger an SA. Like, I can use a super armor skill right in your face.
And you can't do shit about it.
Oh, it was like crazy. It was like the amount of like, oh my God, I'm gonna get grabbed. Oh my God, I'm gonna get grabbed. Like that feeling, like being just completely gone for 14 seconds was amazing.
Yep.
Unplayable. Make it 7 seconds again.
All of these spoiled ass classes with their sub 10-second grabs, dude. Gonna have to welcome to the real world, Laughs and Zerker.
And you had 4 grabs.
Yeah, and now we have 3. And
Get
everyone else
dude.
has the same.
Armortat's mad. I know. I don't know if this is the real Armortat or the one that got hacked in my chat right now.
It's probably
the hacked one.
They probably
The
have
Armortat I
equally-
know is okay with Guardian.
Let's be honest. They probably have equally ridiculous opinions about this game.
The
so.
Armortat I know thinks that Zerkers need to be buffed and that Guardian is too strong. So this is definitely going to be the hacked one. Yep, there it is. It's the hacked one. He said you could use 4 grabs in 10 seconds, and he puts a bunch. That's the hacked one, for sure.
100%.
That's some like Filipino or something like that for sure.
Wow.
That was random, and I disavow everything
It had
else
to
I
be.
just said. If anyone wants to know why I'm replacing my co-hosts, there it is. If anyone was wondering,
Hey, that's why you gotta keep me. What do you mean?
If anyone is wondering why I'm replacing the co-hosts, that's it right there. A, not paying attention. B, that shit. And
Fucking Zerkers, dude.
close us out, PC Reslar.
Oh, anything but. But yeah, that's the end of the show. Sorry for the delay. We should be back. Are we back next week? Next week's Christmas. That's rough.
Yeah, next week is
Are we doing a show
Christmas.
next week?
If we do it, it would be on Sunday, but we'll have to talk about it. No guarantees.
We'll have to talk about it. So maybe, solid maybe on next week's show. Because next week is Christmas. And then the week after is New Year's, but that's not as big of a holiday, so we'll probably do one the week after next for sure. I feel like that's a pretty safe thing to say. Is it?
On New Year's Day, you said?
On around New Year's, is that safe to say?
Yeah,
we'll
more
do
or
a
less.
show around New Year's.
More than likely, however, I'll confirm that because
We'll
I'm supposed to be helping my dad with some sort of project
Well-
around that time.
Yeah, we'll try our best to get. I mean, because I do want to share our experiences with the reworks once they're out,
Yes,
but we'll try our best. That's all we can say, I guess. I don't know.
yeah. And then, as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, 3-year anniversary is like technically supposed to be today, but we're delaying that, so that is just around the corner. Probably gonna happen, or certainly gonna happen in January. We won't let it go longer than that, swear. And I think what we're gonna do, correct me if I'm wrong, Frosty, but I believe the plan is to attempt to bring back most of, if not everyone that we had come on the show to talk about the reworks as they were added on to Global Labs to give us their thoughts on the final result.
Yeah, so the anniversary episode idea is, and it's not set in stone, I'm going to message...
Nothing's set in stone. It's all just ideas.
I'm going to try to get as many of the people that talked about the reworks with us back on the show for like a short snippet each to give us their thoughts on how it feels on live server now that they've done a few node wars and PvP'd with it and all that stuff to get kind of an idea of how everyone feels. So it'll probably be a super long episode, and some people probably won't be able to make it back, so we'll do our best to get as many as we can. Actually, for sure, a bunch won't be able to, and some will just say no.
Yeah,
so
I'm sure.
That. Like, we didn't have a good time last time. You guys are idiots. Sorry.
Yeah.
That'll probably happen.
Hopefully, Danny has another book and some more work that he can do. Otherwise, he'll probably be out, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and that's also why it's being delayed, was because since the reworks came out, we were kind of planning on having that idea of like, oh, our 3-year anniversary can be about like the reworks and like post rework, and then they released the reworks for us at least after the 3-year anniversary. So that's why it's being postponed, in case anyone was wondering like why it's being postponed. That's why, because we have a very specific thing that we'd like to be able to do for our 3-year anniversary. So yeah, so that is coming. Technically this is our 3-year anniversary, so I guess I should say, thank you to everybody who's watched the show over 3 years. Man, 3 years, Frosty. That is crazy.
It is crazy.
It is.
And Nyashi's been here for, I don't know, 1.5, 2 years, something like that.
This is definitely my second anniversary.
It's been here in quotes.
Like as a part of the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I guess like the next year is going to be our 1-year anniversary for the Lost Ark podcast. It's going to be exciting.
Nice. That's true.
Oh no. But yeah, so I guess that's it for this show. Thank you everybody so much for listening. Thank you again to the patrons. Make sure you check out our Twitch streams. You can find them in the description. Twitch.tv/slowfrosty, Twitch.tv/Nyashi_NA, and Twitch.tv/NotReslar. All those links can be found in the description. Again, no guarantee for a show next week. We'll see what happens. Make sure to join the Discord. That's where we post updates as to whether we're having a show or not. Also, if the podcast is ever delayed, you'll get it there as well. I don't think I'm forgetting anything, and we'll see y'all next week, maybe.